Cardinals lose to the Mets in St. Louis 4-2. It was the Reds blanking the Pirates 2-0. Football news at the league meetings in Phoenix. The NFL awarded Super Bowl 63 to Las Vegas. This year it's in Los Angeles, then to Atlanta, then back to Allegiant Stadium. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board got to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Says, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Greetings. Welcome to the meeting that takes place every day between 5 and 8. We call it the Huddle, and we welcome all smart, good-looking insomniacs, early risers, sports fans, stuff fans, sociopaths waiting for the health club to open. All are welcome into the Huddle. Drew Olson, Bill Schmidt, Armen Sarian. It's a Tuesday in the good land, and the Brewers have their first L of the season, and you boys were both there to witness it. I don't want to say those events are related. To say that Armen is the jinx. Billy already attended a victory. He left early, and the Brewers had a stirring comeback.
You don't even know the half of it, Drew.
Do you want to tell him or should I?
You don't even know the half of it.
Do you want to tell him or should I?
Let's go.
Because
Well, what the hell? It's 5 a.m. We might as well.
At that point, Drew, I'm glad you started there because one of our old friends, Brian Bush, gets labeled appropriately so America's jinx.
I'm glad you said appropriately because a little bit deserved there. Yeah.
Armen Sarian wanted to take that mantle last night after he decided that he was going to do a little something that into this very microphone right over here blasted multiple young players and stars for trying to do, which the kids would call aura farming these days.
I did try to aura farm. Let me ask you something. Is it jinxing if you're really just trying to be prepared to deliver the content?
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
All right. Deliver it, and I had this great, brilliant idea.
That was given to you by the guy that was standing right next to you.
That's right.
While we were up on the Johnsonville party deck hanging out with the Milwaukee Admirals, which was a phenomenal evening.
First of all, great evening. Great
Thank
time.
you to the Milwaukee Admirals for having us.
It was an Admirals takeover, right?
It was basically
the whole Johnsonville party deck. Oasis Weisblatt throws out the first pitch.
Jordan Osterley.
Jordan Osterley threw out the first pitch. Weisblatt's the one that came back up with the O-Show jersey.
Yeah, he was awesome.
And he was indoctrinated into Brewers fandom. He's dialed in. He ain't leaving.
First of all, these guys, it's amazing how much smaller they look without skates on. I should have played hockey. I should have learned to play hockey because I think I could have, if I was skilled athletically, I could have done it.
Talented, athletic.
Well, I don't have the talent or athleticism.
You just like to be taller.
I don't have the size, right? But that was great to see Oasis Weisblatt getting the O-Show jersey.
So
he got it done. That was great. That was great.
You want to tell him?
Well, Jordan threw a perfect strike too. I just want to mention that too.
There we go.
He threw the first pitch out, but go ahead, Billy.
Let's hear it.
So as we were approaching the seventh inning after William Contreras got on the board, tallying his first home run of the season, putting the Brewers up 2-1.
He struck that pretty well, too.
Armen thought back to the famous individual who grabbed the cardboard box, threw up the 162-0 banner back there in 1987. right? Nothing better of an image from Brewers fandom than that one right there. Now, shirtless cat on Easter Sunday, I believe, right?
Lots of those.
Everybody was shirtless that day because I think it was like 85 degrees or something.
Yeah,
and gorgeous into that true blue Brew Crew bleacher section.
Great day in the County Stadium bleachers.
Armen decided that, I wish I would have done that. I should have done that. I wanted to do that. I knew they were going to win. I should have done that. Well, we're standing right here by a lovely bar with a couple of very, very nice individuals that were helping us out all night. They were tapping a lot of beer last night in the Johnsonville party deck.
I can only imagine.
It's like, I think they might have an empty case back there, Drew. I think they might have some cardboard back there. Why don't you just go and ask them if you can have one?
And a Sharpie.
And a Sharpie. So Armen, in the midst after a 2-1 lead, is only going into the 7th inning.
Because I'm yelling, where can we win four?
Decides that he's going to grab the 162-0 banner,
no,
flash it around American Family Field, waving it proudly, making sure I can get all of the pictures, just so he can be on his Jason Tatum and do a little aura farming and robbery of a great bit from the 80s.
First of all, I did. I wanted to recreate the bit. It wasn't that I wanted to rob it, Billy. I wanted to honor the legacy of it. Anyone not know what we're referring to? It's, you should by now have watched it many times in your life. It's the great 1987 Brewers team yearbook, Magic, Miracles, and True Believers. All right, you can find it on YouTube.
I've never watched the video. I've seen the picture though.
You should. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you should watch the
young Carson would watch it over and over again. Let me tell you, he would love it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to. The guy had in the cardboard box 162-0. I love posting that. I'm like, wouldn't it be a great idea? Because we're about to go 4-0. That's in my head. I'm thinking we just took the lead while Bill hit the homer. We got the bullpen. We got the vibes. We're good to go. Wouldn't it be great if I recreated the picture just to keep the legacy going of the guy in the cardboard picture? And first of all, I want to say thanks to the two guys working the beer stand up there in our area who probably were hopeful I was dropping in a tip for them or something like that. But no, I just frantically yelled. Do you guys have a cardboard box?
Shocked me, alligator arms.
Well, I didn't have any singles.
There will be no tip.
I didn't have any singles.
I didn't have any singles. I hadn't been
drop
at
a
the
20.
strip
They
club
do make
lately.
change.
That's awkward. I don't want to Costanza it and take money out of the tab making change. All right, I probably could have done that.
Go ahead.
Well, isn't it I don't know, man. Do they even take cash at a lot of stands at AmFam?
Well,
All they had was the little tip jar. And
Yeah,
then, if you wanted, you could have bought a Red Vines and just throw a couple of bucks on that one. But go ahead. Continue.
Which I considered. And then, those guys came through for me with that and the Sharpie. Kind of confused that I was so frantic and trying to figure out, I'm like, this is a great idea. Now, William, you weren't like, totally innocent of this. You were kind of pumping me up with the idea, saying it's a great idea.
Well,
getting
of course
me going.
he was, because then he could just lambaste you today after the Brewers lost, and you turned out to be the jinx.
Have you just met me?
I know. It was a classic.
That's my whole thing.
It was a classic Billy move.
Do it. You won't.
I really thought we were going to win the game at that point, though. So I guess I thought this would be a great content if I just held the thing up, did a little split screen. Turns out I'm the problem. Turns out I'm the reason, and the Brewers are 3-1 and not 4-0. Not Trevor McGill. I'm the reason.
No, not Trevor.
Not Trevor McGill losing that 1-2 lead in the count, walking the guy, and then giving up a ringing double. That was a good piece of hitting to win that double.
In true Armen fashion, I was just lamenting the fact that my great idea wasn't going to get.
Wasn't
fulfilled.
the guy who doubled also the guy who had a big hit earlier in the game, had a homer too?
I was going to say he had the solo shot that tied it off of Ashby.
Yeah, so
it felt like we hit
pretty
it
good
more,
night for that fella.
And all the hard contact we hit in, it felt like most of the night. I mean, there were some
Just
great,
one of those
great
nights. Pretty good
plays.
baseball game.
It was.
Really good.
It was. Yeah.
Pretty good baseball game. Brewers lose their first of the season. You boys were there celebrating with our friends from the Milwaukee Admirals, who are making their own playoff push right now. Their season is in the waning days. The Brewers are just dawning. So it was good that you guys were out there. Brewers have game tonight against the Rays. They have a game tomorrow against the Rays. And then they start, I think they have an off day every day, and like one off day a week, like forever.
I was going to say they end up building in a number of these, Drew. I think when you were a scribe covering baseball, you would have really enjoyed a couple of these off days. Now, you might like them a little bit more during the middle of the summer when the grind really starts firing up.
That's true.
But it's got to be nice to get your pitchers early into the season, fully built up. And I'll tell you this, Kyle Harrison last night, as advertised, gives up the solo shot. This might just be a Brewers thing.
It's becoming a Brewers thing for sure.
It seems like it's dating back to the Cubs series. Ohtani a couple of times. A leadoff home run just might be the elixir. Get that out of the way. But he was nails after he got out of that second inning. A little bit of diciness there, but 4 hits, 8 Ks and a legit arm from that left side who's going to be, I think, a factor in the rotation going forward. And now tonight, hopefully, I'm excited to be able to see Brandon Woodruff toss the pill a little bit for the first time here in 2026. Because if there's going to be somebody who you hope is the mainstay long-term guy that can actually give you 28 starts, dare I say 30 starts, if that's Woody, you're going to be in a hell of a good spot, because it looks like the youth in the rotation, for sure, they're going to go through their days. I think there's going to be more offensive days, guys, that you saw on Sunday than necessarily last night, where this offense is good enough that it's going to dig teams, and it's going to dig this team out of a couple of those rough patches that the young starter gets into.
I would agree.
Especially once you get your two of your heaviest hitters back, which really lengthened that lineup.
That really does.
You could see it last night.
Yeah. Pretty good. Well-pitched game, well-played game. Didn't go the Brewers' way, but no shame in that one. Just get them tomorrow, right?
That could very much be a playoff game. Both of those teams, I think, are playoff teams and have been near the playoff spot for the last couple of years. And, I mean, the guy is just as advertised. Bryce Turang is just an absolute walking double right now.
He did it again last night, over 1.5 for total bases. But listen,
I love that he's taking a walk too.
Yeah, it was great. We were a little worried about that ball off the glove. Maybe they wouldn't score it that way. I did not have any scoring.
He dives. I should never worry, Drew, right? At the Potawatomi Sportsbook with an over 1.5 total bases on that ground ball that Bryce Turang hit. That's a hot shot. Would have been a spectacular play for the young man. Yep. Okay, good.
Hot shot.
But a little excited but anxious to see Woody pitch. I mean, it's you hope he'd be the anchor of the rotation, the veteran anchor, and hopefully he comes out with some good stuff tonight. We're kind of ready to see him go. But I agree, though, the way Harrison kind of settled down. I mean, he had labored through the first couple innings. But after the home run, he gave up a couple base runners with ducks in the pond, got out of it. I thought that was big for him, big for the confidence, able to settle down, settle in, and overall had a good night. So that was a good sign last night. Overall, I didn't think it was some terrible at bats. Yelich kind of struggled, but other than that, guys were hitting the ball hard. It just, some nice plays by the Rays infield as well. So that's the way it goes sometimes. Couldn't get the game late. Couldn't keep the undefeated dream alive, but on to the next for the Milwaukee Brewers.
So your plate arbiter last night was Jeremy Rehack. Did you guys enjoy his work? Because they cut down on the number of challenges last night from Sunday.
Well, I was going to say there's only a couple last night, right?
I think there were 2. But and three. Okay, now because we had a weird angle. Obviously, we're way up in the right field bleachers, so you didn't get a great look at the home plate umpire. But now that when there's a crowd pop, what kind of crowd pop it is, because it's an ABS challenge.
Distinguishable.
The way it's fired up the crowd for these ABS challenges, I think it's going to turn out to be one of the best little jolts to live baseball viewing that we've seen here. So it looks like it's turning out well all across baseball. I saw last night the Yankees went 5 for 5 in ABS challenges, and Boone was kind of fired up about that. It's kind of funny to see how the DNA of the game, live game experience is going to change with this.
It also has given me, Drew, a pretty good appreciation on how good the umpires are.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They're pretty dang good if you actually look at the percentage of balls that you have to call.
Generally, yeah. Although the one guy who's been catching it, CB Bucknor.
Yeah, he might not play very much.
Is in town. Was at second last night. He'll be at third tonight, and that means on getaway day he'll be at the dish.
Must-see viewing.
That's gonna be fun.
Gonna be must-see viewing on Wednesday.
TV for CB.
Yeah, he's kind of been the lightning rod in this early going of the ABS.
Because he went back to back with Suarez, and you could tell the second time Buckner's like, all right, man, seriously? What am I doing back here? Well, not getting the calls right, bud. Like, that's the biggest issue. And we would love it if you just got it right. Then we wouldn't have to clown you in front of 40,000 people.
And the DNA of this is so interesting because it's like the first time fans have been able to hold. Well, you know how we are now today. We hold accountable, right? Fans want to hold someone accountable, right? So if you feel like you've been wrong by the umpire, you've never been able to get them held accountable objectively like you can now. And fans love that. They love that aspect of justice being served on blue. You know what I mean? So I think it's just fun to watch. And I do like that it's so quick and it's so efficient and it's so accurate now. It seems like ideal replay.
It is great. And, as this tweak is being unveiled this year, we've already had the pitch clock, which was great. And then now they're trying to right some wrongs here. And it's still being it's still settling. Like the Brewers, they didn't challenge a pitch.
You're spot on. Yep.
Sunday, and I was like, why wouldn't they challenge that? And they were just holding it. And if you're gonna, it gives you another thing to second guess managers about.
You're dang right.
Well,
yeah.
Operations, because managers can't really do it. It's got to be the batter, and it's got to be within 2 seconds, batter and the catcher or pitcher. But it's gonna give you something else to talk about, and I think it's gonna improve the way people feel. The Eric Greggs and there's going to be bad calls, and there's going to be, like some of the
dudes are human.
They are human, but they are pretty good, to your point, Billy. And now this will correct the egregious ones. And meanwhile, over on the NFL side, we're gearing up for Replacement Refs 2, Electric Boogaloo, the sequel to the Lance Easley game on Monday Night Football when the Packers got screwed in Seattle.
And the NFL's like, listen, we're sorry, but we're going to do it again.
So negotiations are getting ugly. They're negotiating a little bit in the media. They're taking shots at each other. And the word is, and the NFL's doing due diligence, that they're going to start preparing college referees and like just non-NFL referees.
Yeah.
And that's interesting too, because I heard McAfee say, and I thought this, because I lived this when the baseball had the lockout and they tried to have replacement players in spring training. I was covering that spring training, and we were getting ready to break camp with replacement players. And the Brewers probably would have had a better replacement team record than the regular team in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
But they were ready. They brought these guys in. They had like open tryouts. It was so interesting because guys in the minor leagues were still, nobody wanted to cross any picket lines and everything. And there was that aspect of it. So you might get that with the top level college guys who have
hadn't thought of that,
aspirations. They might not want to cross the line. So you might have D3 guys or old guys who, I got no shot. It's my only shot.
Independent guys, right?
So it's getting so thorny there. Now, deadline spur actions, the CBA between the league and the officials ends in a couple of months. It's like end of May or something. But they're starting to like prep, and they might, if it goes and goes, they might have these guys, replacement refs, who might end up being the new refs, and might have them go to camps and work, controlled scrimmages and stuff like that. And maybe obviously exhibition games if it gets that far. So they're not messing around. A lot of saber rattling going on.
Oh yeah.
The issues between the officials. And that the bigger question is, first of all, what would be, if you could be a referee for any sport at a high level, what would you choose? Who are the coolest arbiters? Because I think, like the NFL guys, if you're not the crew chief, you're basically anonymous.
Yeah.
And if you kick a call, your crewmates know it, and the team and the players and the coaches and stuff who watch the film, they know it. But most people, you can kick a call and you're just a guy on the field in a striped shirt.
Yeah, you're just the idiot back judge.
Yeah, you're just the back judge or the line judge. You're not going to catch anything. And even if you screw up, a lot of times it comes on the white cap, the guy who's the head referee. Like he ends up wearing it. Like, his crew sucks.
Hockey's crew's awful. Yep, yeah. You're totally right.
So they have that layer of anonymity, which is cool. And baseball, you're out there. If you got the dish, you probably have more control over a game than any official in any other sport, I think, if you got the home plate.
Bar none. Yes.
Because the difference, as we've talked about, the difference between a 1-1 pitch being 1-2 in the count or 2-1 is astronomical. And there's that. Now in the ABS era, maybe that's lessened a little bit, because if you screw one up, if you screw up a call, but you're still, you're still controlling every pitch.
100%.
You're dialed into every pitch,
and the flow of the game too.
And you're wearing that. If you miss a call at the bases and cost a kid in Detroit a no-hitter, you're going to be immortal. So there's that. The NBA has a couple of refs that and then the rest of them are kind of anonymous, right?
And you hit it on that one right there. I'll stop you when I hit the bell. The NBA ref has got to be the absolute best, because you work 3 days a week, I'm pretty sure. From the scouting of it, you get 3 days that you can work in the NBA. They make nearly $500,000 from when you look at
travel first class.
Travel first class, and you do get the opportunity to work with just about every different official throughout the year. They don't work in the same crew every single night. So I like that kind of change in the back and forth. And there's only like 3 of them, and as long as I'm not going to Scott Foster the situation and be the extender,
who is trending today, by the way, for some
that's
reason.
awesome. Chris Paul, bring it up.
I must be.
But like, unless I'm going to Joey Crawford and be so mad at Tim Duncan, like the nicest guy in the world, nobody's really going to know who I am. I've had an experience reffing both basketball and baseball. Have only had negative reactions with football refs. So I'll keep the football ref onto the side, and I'd absolutely take the NBA.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think you have to look at a couple things. You know, on one
I'll
hand,
see a hell of a workout every night.
Yeah, it's the thing.
That's
on one
true.
hand,
You're in shape.
You're going to look absolutely ripped up.
They're pretty
if
jacked.
you want the workout, you have to figure soccer's good because you have to just run all the time. Now, the problem is some of these situations in soccer get kind of hairy, and I don't know if you want to be in the spotlight. I mean, internationally, overseas, we know some soccer refs have been in the crosshairs. I would sit there and tell you that my ideal one would be a chair umpire in tennis. I think I love the idea. First of all, you got control of the microphone. You're on mic. You got the umbrella right there. You're up on the chair in that nice seat. You probably get to wear a suit or some nice classy gear. And you ultimately always have the power, right? You're up on that chair where everyone's trying to yell at you from below. You have the power. You're perched like a gargoyle on the side of a building. I kind of like that. So I would say chair umpire in tennis is the most leisurely, relaxing, enjoyable one. And I like that you can, just call out, things on the microphone all the time. That'd be a lot of fun. I would say lacrosse is probably a good one too, because nobody knows what the hell's going on in lacrosse in terms of rules.
That's true.
So you're gonna get less.
That's
parents.
the quietest. Yeah, that's the quietest for at the youth and amateur level. That's the quietest.
You're gonna get less parents arguing at you. You're gonna get less people yelling. They don't know what's going on in lacrosse. What's going on? And so I would think that would be a good one too to officiate.
Yeah. Soccer too. I mean, to a point.
Yeah, the soccer one would be fun to be able to bust out the card on someone.
The card.
That would be the only thing I would like about the soccer one, though.
You're about a year away from Carson having to start playing soccer because it's the law. It's like the first sport people play is soccer.
I know. He was kicking the basketball yesterday. I'm like, buddy, that's not.
And
what
it
we do
is
with that
good
one.
for cardio and footwork and coordination stuff. It's a good gateway. But
And I mean, it seems like a good camaraderie situation because they never aren't all bunched up together.
that's true. Yeah,
Right?
they travel.
They're
in
all
packs.
hanging out and travel in packs.
Travel in packs. So Hunter Baumgart has a report for us. We will listen to that. He also has an interview, I believe, with Joey Ortiz.
Let's go.
Our baseball correspondent and host of the Milwaukee Baseball Tonight on Thursday and the baseball pregame show.
How do you think Joey Ortiz enjoyed yesterday?
Joey,
This is a tough day for Joey Ortiz. Doesn't get to play. Maybe sees somebody get a big old bag that plays the exact position he does.
Be gone before Cooper Pratt.
Well, maybe it'll fire him up. Maybe it'll inspire him.
Writing on the wall, maybe.
So we got that, and then
second chance. Look at Joey Weimer. So
we're buying and selling at 6:00 because that's what we like to do. So hit us up 877-794-1973. At 7:00, special guest in the house.
Mike Hastings, head coach of the Badgers men hockey team, is going to call us in.
Yes, on his way to the Frozen Four in a couple weeks.
Get ready to go to the rink and get the boys.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then Bill Schroeder, Tuesdays with Rock, makes his triumphant return. We'll talk to Rock. Buying or selling? You buying or selling that Rock in his prime, which was 1987, I think, athletically, and he was on that team.
For that team, yeah.
Could Rock beat Gary Sanchez in a foot race to first base?
That's good.
I think he would, but Rock was not fast. But I think he's faster than Gary Sanchez. So we got lots to get to today. We're glad that you're awake and hanging out with us. It's a little windy out there, at least outside the Megaplex. A little drizzly.
Gusty out here.
We are going to have
warmer than I was thinking it was going to be.
A wonderful Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We are huddled up. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you on a Tuesday in the good land, broadcasting live, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live for the early risers and insomniacs.
Of which Dobbler's one, Boss Dobbler.
On X, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah, the greetings, everybody. And you guys can notice there's a little different little interface for the comments now. All right.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Did
you do that?
No, I did not. I did not.
Okay.
There's been some updates. Now, he mentioned Hunter's pregame show was awesome last night. It was. Well done, Hunter, on his maiden voyage. That was a banger of a show, getting rave reviews. I saw on the text line. And yesterday, Dobbler, I just wanted to say, was getting into it with some guys. And my dad had to break the fight up here on the YouTube comments. Geez. And my dad texted me after the show. And he's like, those guys were rumbling a little bit in the YouTube comments. He goes, I want to make sure those guys calm down. So I want to say, first of all, thanks, Dad, for calming them down and for breaking up the fight. And guys, just so you know, if you're on the comments fighting, I can't tell you what to do, but you get my dad nervous. All right, so
don't make him turn the car around.
Yeah, so just thanks, Dad, for making sure everybody plays nice in the YouTube comments.
By the way, Billy's shirt today. Saturdays are for the dads.
That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. It works out very, very well.
Very apropos, chef's kiss, if I may. Hey, since you mentioned Hunter Baumgart, he covers the Brewers for us and gives us a daily report. Let's take a listen to Hunter's report from yesterday. Armen, if you'd be so kind as to share that with us.
Thanks, guys. Unfortunately, the Brewers will not be going 162-0 this season. They fall 3-2 to the Tampa Bay Rays here at American Family Field. Rays putting up a run in that ninth inning. Trevor McGill giving it up. Nick Fortes with an RBI double. Pat Murphy telling us after the game that Brewers knew that Nick Fortes liked to ambush those fastballs up. Unfortunately, McGill left one up there, and Fortes was able to get to it, put it in the gap. Double. Rays lead at 3-2. Then at the bottom of the ninth, Sal Frelick led things off with a hit by pitch. Garrett Mitchell came up. Brewers manager Pat Murphy saying he didn't want to bunt there with Garrett Mitchell. It's not really his forte. And then he let his lefties bat simply because Ian Seymour, who was on the mound for the Rays, is a reverse split lefty, meaning he does better against righties than he does lefties, which is obviously not normal. Pat Murphy lets his lefties bat there. Brewers cannot come up with a run, and they fall 3-2 to the Tampa Bay Rays. On the bright side, Kyle Harrison, his Brewers debut, went pretty well. Gave up a home run to start the game, but then bounced back. 5 innings, 8 Ks. We asked him after the game about working with William Contreras for the first time in the regular season.
Kyle, how was it working with William for the first time in the regular season?
It was awesome. I mean, from starting off in the bullpen, him ripping things back at me, and it's just that consistency. He wants that consistency, and that's everything in pitching. Tunneling, all that, and he gets it. And just it's awesome having conviction back there. That's the way I would sum it up.
He does that in the bullpen too.
Oh yeah.
Like if he doesn't like something?
I guess, I mean, maybe he's just got a rocket of an arm, he's got a hose on him, but no, man, it holds you accountable, that's for sure.
Have you ever had a catcher like that?
No, it's awesome. It's cool to have.
Brewers will try to bounce back on Tuesday night. Brandon Woodruff makes his first start of 2026, 6:40 at American Family Field. This video brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
That Hunter Baumgart. For those of you on the stream, you got to see Hunter's smiling face. He was in front of the Barrelman backdrop, and Barrelman invaded the press box last evening. I saw on the socials, hanging out with his nemesis, Adam McKelvey from Brewers.com.
And he came up by us, too, which is a lot of fun. Always fun to have the mascots around. I love that. And did I catch it? Kyle Harrison call him conviction?
No, he said you like to have conviction back there, as in you like to have somebody that's convicted into what they like, what they want, what they demand.
Okay, I get it now. You like to have conviction. For some reason, for a second, I thought he was nicknaming Contreras Conviction, which was kind of cool, actually. But
could be worse nicknames.
The way you explained it makes more sense.
Yeah, Armen, you just misheard.
No, that's true. I did. That's why I asked.
But I do think there's, Drew, you'd be able to speak to that. Like, I do think that there's something to, and Murph always says, you guys just don't understand. Which I appreciate. Like we made fun of Matt LaFleur when he's like, you guys just don't get it. All right. You don't know how hard it is to win that game that Malik Willis did on 19 days in. I also don't really understand all of the things that William Contreras can do on a pitch by pitch, day in and day out basis to get these guys ready to go. But the easiest thing is just being the exact same in what your standard is, because he really is the leader and the coach on the field. When you call everything, we talked to Rock about it with these challenges as well. Like, they've basically fully deferred. Bill, you call it. You think it's ball? You think it's a strike? You go. Otherwise, we'll be okay. Yeah. We'll put all our trust in you and put that C on basically your chest to be able to make these calls.
There are Contreras. This goes back. I mean, even with when Lucroy came up a couple of many years ago, I guess. But when Lucroy came up, basically came up from Double-A, and he had to learn on the fly, and he did an incredible job just cramming. But the Brewers, in this current iteration, I remember talking to Counts and Murph about this. Like they were like, we put a lot on our catchers. It was to the point where they weren't getting a lot of offense out of the catching spot at one point. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, well, that's okay because they're doing the other stuff, limiting the running game and working with our pitchers. And it's like, we put a lot. And there are some teams where the pitching coach and the manager, they devise some kind of system or something where they can call pitches from the dugout. But they ain't doing that with William. You don't need to because he has a feel for it. We'll talk to Rock about that today at 7:30. But Contreras, they say he calls a good game. Well, what does that mean? You put a finger down, big deal. And the pitcher does have the right to shake, and they can, but when you get that flow, that's one of the things. That's one of the unsung things in baseball is that pitcher catcher vibe, that connection that they have, and just now with the pitch calm and stuff, it's unique, it's evolved, but it's still there. It's still like a key tenet of the game is the catcher helping the pitcher through. And I was wondering about that with Sproat the other day because he had Caro making his first big league start.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Maybe it would have been better to have Caro make his first big league start with Woodruff on the mound. Woodruff could have called his own damn game.
I agree. Yes.
And Sproat, who's kind of feeling his way in his fourth big league start, I don't know if that's a factor or not. And I don't know. And I also wasn't at camp, so I don't know how much they work together during games.
Good point.
Because there are times like how many guys has Gary Sanchez caught, right? How many times has how many guys, it takes some time to develop that rapport. And, some guys, sometimes you'll see guys, pitcher gets traded. Like when Don Sutton came to the Brewers or some pitcher gets traded mid-season, he throws a complete game no-hitter or a complete game shutout to a catcher he's never thrown to before. You've seen it that way. You've also seen guys get rocked, but it is one of those things that's always there. It's so important, and few people even think about it. That's
100%.
Why when I was on the beat, when a guy would pitch a good game and everybody was at that locker, I'd go find the catcher, and a lot of times there's nobody talking to him, and he gives you he would tell you, oh God, in the pen he sucked. I thought we were in for a long one. And then it was like, oh, and then I'd go back to the pitcher and say, yeah, I heard your pen was a little shaky. Oh, it was terrible.
And you get the real part of the story.
The real part of the story, and you find out, but you go to the guy behind the dish. And then a lot of times, the pitchers are always like, oh, I hung that. It was awful. And then you go to the catcher's like, I never should have called that. I screwed up. We had him set up. A changeup would have been good there. And I tried to go fastball one more time, and I could kill myself for doing it. It was awful.
I always
like that dynamic is there every pitch,
every single night. And he has to have it with every pitcher, right? Like he's got to have that intuition and that dialed in with every single pitcher. And it gives me more slack to somebody that Armen Sarian's not going to like me giving a little credit. I used to always laugh when Corbin Burns is like, we had a good night, or we missed on this one. We were right here. I'm like, brother, you're throwing the ball. What are you talking about?
He's talking about his catcher and Chris Hook.
Yep.
And the video guys.
And the whole piece that ends up leading into how you're going to be able to call a full game.
Well, it is a team effort. It's hard to quantify that for some fans, I think. Like, well, how do you measure what those guys' impact are? There's an impact.
Not only is there that, you got to know, who's coming out of the pen and what do they like to throw, but you have to gauge what do they have that night.
Yes.
Because every night,
and you got to do it quick.
Some guys like, well, that pitch wasn't as sharp as it usually is, so we got away from that and we went to this. And every night it evolves that way too. It's not the same all the time.
Yeah, and like last night, Trevor McGill's up 1-2, and I think they threw a couple of different curveball. Looked like they were trying to hammer the guy out with one of the knuckle curves. And some people were saying, just blow by this guy with your 98-mile-an-hour heat and all that. There's something to it, but it's also Game 4, right? Like you're going to start learning a lot more as to what you're going to be able to piece and what you're going to have on a given night in that spot. Also, though, the easiest way is, well, why do these catchers make the best managers all the time? Oh, well, they get to see the whole field. They go and see the whole field. That's part of it. But they are the only guy that is calling every single thing that's happening through the entire game.
They are coaches on the field. They make good broadcasters.
And once you develop that, you could probably make those adjustments without actually having to talk about it, right? With a good pitcher. I mean, the 82 Brewers documentary, one of the interesting parts for me was the Ted Simmons part, where Ted would talk through how he worked with Vuk on those things, and him and Vuk had that relationship, and he knew what Vuk wanted to do if he didn't have his best stuff and how he could fight through it. So, Ted Simmons is another one of those smart guys that talked about that a lot. And I mean, you can see the intellect of the game on display.
There may be a hidden sign, and I've heard this from some guys, and we should ask Rock about this too. But when they go out to the mound, and Mike Maddox used to always go out and put his hand on a guy's shoulder. He wanted to see if he could feel how he was breathing, check his heart rate a little bit, just like that little test.
That's my favorite.
Mad Dog would always do that, right? But a lot of times, the pitching coach or the manager will look to the catcher at the mound meeting and say, what do you think? And the catcher can't say, yeah, get him out of here. He's toast. He's done. So they almost like to have a little special sign there to say, well, I don't know. If I touch my hat, get him out of here. Get the next guy.
Blink twice for a change.
The pitcher catcher relationship is so sacred. You can't throw your guy under the bus, but you got to be honest with the manager and you got to, the greater good, the team. So it's like, get him out of here. He's like, he doesn't have it anymore.
He's just walking back to the dugout. Order the shot.
That is, again, that's one of the things. And the best part of sports is like the underbelly of it, the stuff that people don't discuss. Only us on the Huddle. Who else is talking about this today? Brewers made a trade. Luis Matos coming to town.
Can't call him cheap. They basically just bought a new player.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the. I was just thinking the same thing, Billy. Everyone always says we trying to take on cash. We're just paying for a guy.
There you go.
And of course, the other big news is the new deal in the works for Cooper.
We're going to talk about that as we move forward. We got some buying and selling coming up. Badgers hockey coach Mike Hastings joins us at 7. Bill Schroeder at 7:30. You're in a good spot. You're in the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We are chilling on a Tuesday.
You know what? We're chilling, and most importantly, we're able to sleep with the windows open last night because that wind was gusting, and it was a natural sound machine. I thought at the moment the babies was just losing its mind. Then I realized, oh no, it's just a window over here, and this thing absolutely howling around us. Talk about an interesting weather dynamic we got rolling here. It can change like 20 degrees across the street.
It did this morning when I left. Awesome. It was like a 10-degree difference when I got in and out of the car. And yeah, I asked Laura, I was like, you got to run the laundry machine right now? She goes, I'm not. And I realized, oh, that's just the thunder.
How many beers did you have last night?
No, it wasn't that. But I just thought it was just the sound was so unique. It was like thunder or wind, or I don't know what was happening. And you're right. The wind was rolling through. We considered the AC last night. It was so getting warm. It was crazy. And then it's going to be, of course, 34 degrees tomorrow. So there you have it.
Of course.
Yeah. I had a couple, Billy. I didn't have a Coors Edge.
Yeah, a couple 2-tree beers.
Why
not? Come on. Now hanging out at the Brewers game.
877-794.
Like 9 bra. I went to the buffet like 4 times.
197.3. 877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Hit us with your buy or sell props because we're going to be doing that. We'll be firing that up. You buying or selling that? Armen had he had some Ziploc bags in his pants so that he could go through the buffet and take some food home.
Well, Drew, all of a sudden, mysteriously, all the cookies disappeared. And I don't know where those happened, but maybe into a nice little pouch there. I did also put up the picture of Armen, said, if anyone wants to blame Trevor McGill for last night's L, I offer you this first. And our friend Adam said, I blame Armen for last night's loss, not Billy for staying for the entire game. Au contraire, Armen.
Well, actually,
au contraire, Adam.
One of us ailed.
Yeah, I found myself out of there at the 8th inning. I thought I was just trying to do the magic. I was just trying to do my part and try to spark the rally. Sadly, it didn't. So, as Adam said, so it's just Armen. Makes you question his true Brewers fandom some days.
I mean, come on.
Just kidding.
That's all good.
It's all go off at somebody here, okay?
It's all
go off.
Come on, it's all
question me. I was there, all right? And question me.
Yeah, you guys are gamers.
Get out of here. Get out of town.
So Brewers making a trade, spending money to get a player who had raked against them.
Yes, had a big series last year.
They Matt Arnold made a comment, not a crack, but a quote. And he just said that, hey, we're like the land of opportunity. Like this guy, you go get a guy who's had good moments against the Brewers in the past. They've liked him for a while. Then they go get this guy who's out of options with the Giants. Giants GM, Zach Manassian, right, who worked with the Brewers, has a relationship.
Yeah, he was.
And so they got this guy for cash considerations, right? That was the trade.
Yeah,
in exchange for a bag of cash,
just money,
just cash.
Bought a player.
So they're bringing Matos in, and look at he hasn't done much. Well, neither had Priester and neither had Andrew Vaughn. And look who they come to Milwaukee and they blossom. So that was an interesting move. I'm wondering, a depth thing. Is that because Churio's out? Is it right hand bat?
That was the one, Drew, that the only pause that it brought me was, does this mean that Jackson's situation a little longer than they think? They got so many outfielders, I wouldn't think it would be the massive issue, or it's just simply they want to see if they can build off of the fact that the guy went from a 5 OPS player in 24 to a 700 OPS player in 25, and he's also 24 years old, right? There's a huge part of that youth.
He fits their type, right? He's
they have a type, and they're doing it. And the other part of yesterday's spending spree for the Milwaukee Brewers is
wild day.
I do wonder how much. Maybe we're getting immediately to big picture with the situation is the youth, the cost certainty. Cooper Pratt's deal of 8 years, $50 million that they signed to before he plays in a AAA game. It almost seems like you're really trying to pinpoint and grab long-term pieces that, if indeed, Drew, there was a salary cap structure or a grandfathering in of contracts that would be outside of the salary cap deal, I wonder if you're going to see a race by different teams to try to lock that in going into 2027, into all of the labor uncertainty.
It'll be interesting. Don't the Nashville Sounds open tonight?
Tonight, I believe, is the first game. Yep.
Cooper Pratt's never played above AA.
So tonight will be his first AAA game. And Drew, and I got to think, and we mentioned this last night, maybe it's tonight. Maybe it was last night. He's going to bring those boys on an absolute heater out on Broadway, right?
Oh my gosh.
You can't be the young guy that just signed that massive deal at AAA and not bring some stakes into the clubhouse, right?
And more than that, right? You mentioned that to me, Billy. Not just the prime rib in the clubhouse. Yeah.
But the Brewers drafted him out of high school in the 6th round. And that for a 6th round pick is like 350, 400
Something
grand.
low.
And they gave him 1.3.
Yep.
Right. So they overpaid at that point, which is part of their something that they do to pay guys like high ceiling guys in the lower rounds, give them more, get them to sign,
to secure,
get them to not go to Vanderbilt or wherever they're going to go, or So
part of the strategy.
It's part of the strategy, and it looks like it's working out pretty well. Now, this guy they say is big league ready with the glove already,
and you could see it in those exhibition games
offensively.
He made 1 or 2 plays during that exhibition game. Once he came in the 5th or 6th inning, that jaw was dropping. He's got an absolute cannon on him, and to be able to play it short, the defense is going to be a non-negotiable for the Crew. And also, I mean, big league ready with the glove and work in progress with the bat. That seems like all of their shortstop options. So I understand locking it in. I think it's made the crack about it earlier in the show. It does make me wonder how a young Joey Ortiz was handling yesterday. Out of the lineup, David Hamilton in for him, and this guy's the one that gets the big contract. Drew, it's going to lock you into, at worst, right? At worst, he's on your opening day roster starting somewhere for you in 27.
I would say that's a pretty good bet.
You can't be thinking they're going to be spending $7 million on him to be playing in AAA for longer than a full year.
You're paying for that. Now, it was funny because we talked just last week about the next guy to get the long-term deal. We were talking a lot about Made. None of us said Pratt, but I wonder, would Made have been approached for something like this as well?
Or maybe they're talking to him.
Maybe they're talking to him.
Then it's like, okay, is Pratt now the shortstop and Made is the second baseman?
Well, there was a lot of Made over at second base.
A lot of prospects come up as shortstops and get moved. I mean,
because if you can play short, you can play anywhere.
Exactly.
Right? So you can play, move him to third, move him to, you can move him around. Outfield, the versatility, outfield. Yeah, it's fascinating. So interesting move by the Brewers. They've had great success with deals like this. The Peralta thing, he was the biggest bargain in baseball for the last 5 years.
Yeah, right? And frankly, he hasn't been that guy yet. But they're getting their money's worth out of Aaron Ashby too.
Yeah,
they locked him up, and they're making sure that they're using all of those innings as well.
They are, and Churrio's work in progress, but it looks like already a good deal.
Yeah, feels like a good one already.
It's kind of the way the Brewers have to move, but it's interesting. And the thing about Pratt that is striking to me is on a team of short kings, you got a 6'4" guy who looks like Cal Ripken out there, throwing it back to when shortstops were tall, like A-Rod and Cal Ripken.
He's going to quickly be the most hated guy in the clubhouse. He's got all the money, and he's a head taller than all of us, Drew. This is unfair.
Unfair advantage. All right. We are rolling. We're going to do some buying or selling next. Matt Miller's going to join us at 6:30 for our halftime report. Mike Hastings, coach of the Badger hockey team, at 7. Bill Schroeder, 7:30. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. I mean, they weren't going to go 162-0.
D-Jacks, the righty up in the bullpen. Hey, there's a shot. Well tagged off the bat at DeLuca. That baby is gone. And the Rays tie this on one swing of the bat from Johnny DeLuca. It's a 2-2 ball game.
Rays TV with the call. They played another in the top of the ninth. Tampa Bay with a 3-2 win at Milwaukee. Kyle Harrison came over in the Caleb Durbin trade after giving up a leadoff home run. He settled in nicely. Same two teams again tonight. Brandon Woodruff makes his 2026 debut. He'll be opposed by Shane McClanahan. First pitch is at 6:40. Published reports say the Brewers are closing in on signing 21-year-old shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt to an 8-year contract. The deal is said to be worth just north of $50 million, with 2 club options for at least an additional $15 million per season. He's currently at AAA Nashville. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got Jackson, what we got to do? All right, that's all the ball y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down now and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Huddle up, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you this Tuesday in the good land. We are broadcasting live on 920 in Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app, Facebook, X, YouTube for the streams. It's Buy or Sell Tuesday on the program. If you've got a proposition for us, lay it on us. Are you buying or selling? Are you buying or selling that you're okay to run the gas out of the snowblower? No? You good now?
I'm buying it, Drew. I'm buying it.
Tomorrow we're on to April.
Yep. And I'm doing it this weekend.
All right.
I think this weekend, in the midst of smoking the big old Christmas Easter ham.
Pause.
With a look.
No? Okay.
I'm smoking a ham on the Traeger.
Yeah, I just
Now, if I said I was smoking a sausage link, then maybe it would make a little bit more sense. But we're smoking an Easter ham.
Smoking the meat. You know?
And at that
that'll
point,
be today?
we're going to get some beautiful aroma going with some cherry wood and then with some beautiful fossil fuels, and we're going to burn that gas right on out of there.
I think you're good to do it, although it might snow again. It might at least flurry again, but not to the point where you just can't let nature take its course and melt. I mean, that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because it's going to be cold. I mean,
it's not going to be like
34, but it won't like.
If we got one of those weird 5-inch snow dumpings, it'd be gone in a day.
Which we got in 18. We got April 2018, the second week. We got a pretty decent snowfall that lasted 3 or 4 days.
How do you remember that?
I remember because my dad had heart surgery that week. And I remember it being kind of a significant week. And I remember thinking, wow, it's weird that it's snowing so much this week. And I was thinking to myself, in all the midst of what was going on, do I have to go and do his driveway and all those things? But
or can I just leave it here?
Honestly, it was.
I do remember that time. It was,
yeah,
we were all worried. We were all,
but
with you there, Armen.
I appreciate it. Everything's good, but I remember just the snowfall because of that. It melted in a few days though, but it took a few days, so it's possible. But we'd get through it, I think, without it. So I think you're good to run the snowblower down.
Okay. But you're not gonna.
Well, there's a chance you're wasting some gas, and you know me, I'm trying to conserve. At all times. No, actually, I think I will do it. That's a good idea. I will do it. I'll run the snowblower out.
Well, don't do it if you're not comfortable with it, right? We don't want you. We want you to be
not comfortable.
We want you to be comfortable in your role. All right. We want you to know your role and be confident and play to the best of your abilities.
Yeah.
And that's where my first buy or sell comes in here, guys, because I'm buying, first off, if they sold prints of it, I might buy a picture of that coach's picture that they take at the owners meeting. Matt LaFleur and Mike LaFleur's parents, I would assume, would like a big old one that they could have in a canvas print because those two gentlemen right front and center next to the Harbaugh brothers as the NFL put them right next to each other. But are you guys buying or selling the quote from Matt LaFleur yesterday that it did play a part in the lack of late game success for the Packers? If I'm going to be honest with you, I think there were some guys that were upset about their roles last year, and I think it took a toll on our football team. You need guys to bring that energy, great energy every day. And I think from a coaching standpoint, role clarity is key. So we've got to obviously do a better job communicating to our players, hey, here's your role. If you're unhappy about your role, it's on you to do something about it, to carve out a new role on this football team. But yeah, the buy-in is absolutely critical. Getting guys in there that are juiced and ready to go to work each and every day is going to be critical for us. You buying or selling? There was maybe some more riffs and some more anger in that Packers locker room than we thought.
Is it a role thing? I mean, that Rashawn Gary can't play a certain amount of snaps. Is it like, and that other guys are on him about his conditioning? That's not a role thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. Yes, I'm buying that can happen, but it's also strange to hear a coach talk about that, because isn't that like the coach's job to create the culture where guys know their roles and are competing within and are in a positive way? And when you win games, obviously when you lose, all bets are off, and they did lose, and the snowball rolled down the hill and got bigger, but it's kind of the coach's job. So isn't that kind of like a self-indictment there?
There's clearly a lot of ownership taken, I thought, there, where it was like, hey, we
have to do a better job. Well, that pisses people off. I got to starts with me. But
that was a roundabout way, I thought, Drew, of just admitting exactly what you said of like, hey, I need to set this a lot clearer. And I wonder if some of that is going to be inherent when you bring in the best player on your football team a week and a half before they play a game, right? Like Micah Parsons comes in and is immediately the best player on your team.
True.
And for that to be sweet, now it's kind of Micah's team. I wonder if that was a riff that was not maybe nipped in the bud early on.
And then were there, obviously the guys who've left that are squeaking, Romeo Dobbs and Quay Walker.
Mm-hmm. They were
they guys like Quay Walker was never really happy, I don't think, with his kind of role, right?
Which was strange because he was given the green dot and being able to run the entire defense.
He had the role.
But he doesn't want to be that, I guess. So, but he had that opportunity multiple different times. And Dobbs, I think we've kind of had an idea that he'd be upset potentially with his role because we saw the situation that happened in 2024. I don't know that he was. I think he understandably believed that he's a 1,000-yard receiver and never really got the touches for it. But the clear and concise understanding of this is what you're expected to do, and we're going to count on you to do it each and every week. Drew, I think there's a lot to it that it is the coach, and I wonder if some of it was what we all saw play out in the clunkiness of their offense in the middle of the year, right? Like understanding, hey, this is when you can be expecting the football. This can be when you can expect your 3 to 4 touches, not just when Tucker Kraft's going to bail us out in the Pittsburgh game, because that kind of was their offense into October was let's keep it close and then throw the ball to Tucker Kraft and see if it will work out.
Well, it's also interesting because at the end of the year before, it was a lot of, there might have been a leadership void in this locker room. There might have been, we need to have guys that are more, leadership serious and things like that. And then at the end of this year, you heard Micah Parsons saying, guys, have to look in the mirror and see what they're going to do to make this team better. So are there, were there more termites in the wood than you realize when you realize that the foundation might not have been as strong, but we only hear that after the loss? So it's almost like everything seems to be good, but we don't realize there are these underlying issues under the surface that seem to come to light once the team loses. And then in the offseason, we're talking about it. I'm like, all right, so what's the real story here? What's it really like? Is there really a leadership void? Was it really a kumbaya in the locker room? Was it not? And how much does that affect the product of the field? Because the team was winning both years until they weren't. Yeah. And then it was like, well, what happened here?
Are you buying or selling Ed Policy saying he was shocked that there was even a question that he was going to extend Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst?
How could he have been shocked? I mean,
Or
that's
even
a
above
sell.
LaFleur.
I mean, he must have thought that himself after that loss. I think everyone had to
Policy
ask
said
themselves
players
a little bit.
sought him out to support LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
He said that they are the right duo to lead the Packers to a Super Bowl. Policy stressed the importance of weighing entire tenures of LaFleur and Gutekunst rather than making an emotional decision off one game or a few games. His quote was, "I always believed you don't make football decisions out of emotion."
Well, cool. I agree, but does that mean he's never going to get fired now?
Well, you
Sorry to
got
interrupt
so you have
Billy.
7 years
that's not
of
what he
data.
said.
You got 7 years to evaluate, and
Yeah.
it's like, do you throw out, discount that and go on the one game that they blew a lead against the Bears? Okay.
I think in all reality, he's mostly shocked, because I would buy that he's a little bit shocked as to how big of a story the comments that he made in the beginning of the year became, and the backdrop of the entire season that it became when he kind of, again, first time in the position, being the head decision maker and the president of the organization, when he says, "I don't like lame ducks, so something's going to happen." I don't know that he anticipated, and I think he was more shocked, Drew, that every single time they lost, it felt like people were calling us on Packers OT saying, "Are they going to ask him if he thinks he's going to get fired today? Because this is ridiculous." I think that was maybe where he would come to the shocked level.
Well, did Ed Policy have a word with our pal Matt Schneidman for saying that, LaFleur was coaching for his job? In essence, in pro sports, everybody's coaching for their job every day.
Every day, every week. Yeah, you can always get hired or fired. That's where I would push back on he's not going to get fired. But I do think he looks at it and says, we have one of the better coaches in football. I'm kind of surprised people want him fired because they lost on the string on out.
Are you buying or selling the idea that Goody, Policy, and LaFleur could have met with folks in Green Bay and not make people fly to Arizona to get the first interview with Matt LaFleur? Like the circus that they've created, that we have to cover this, and like the owners meetings should be just meetings, right? It should, like, do they have to be covered? And like, do they, there's news out of there, Drew. Well, yeah. Well, and if I'm a reporter, and I was for many years, like, I want to go to Phoenix. I got to be where the action is.
I get to go to Biltmore. Yeah, I'll
go
be
to
there.
Biltmore and cruise around, or my condo in spring training used to be right next to the Biltmore. It was pretty amazing.
That's a nice spot that you were at.
to be
I
in,
like that.
no doubt. But
that's nestled right in between all the spots you want to be.
They create this, and it's like, now the owners meeting. We went from the combine. Like, now coaches don't go to the combine. Like, couldn't they have done this? Like, do we need that? They're feeding the beast. They're shoveling coal in the furnace. They're the top dogs. They're the number one sport. But having the local, the conversation, having it here would have been fine with me.
More than anything, Drew, I think it's ridiculous that you haven't heard from the head coach after he signs the contract extension, after they hired a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And they hired a new special teams coordinator after a surprising exit. Again, quote unquote surprising, because everybody was expecting him to get gassed. Then for 3 weeks, he doesn't, and then he leaves. Like, all of those, I'm more surprised that it took until now for us to finally hear from the head coach since the day after they lose to the Chicago Bears. Like, that one to me is stunning. Now, you guys buying or selling the fact that Rich Bisaccia never gave Matt LaFleur the answer, and frankly, Matt never cared? The quote was, never had that direct conversation with him when asked why special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia stepped down, but he came into me after we got back and was just hoping that we'd have a different feeling. The guy's done it for a long time. I don't want to speak for him, but I think a lot of it has to do with getting closer to being back home, his home base. Obviously, his family is important to him. He's got ties down in Florida, so I think that was a big reason as to why.
Yeah, I'm selling that. I'm sorry. There's no way you asked him, and that conversation at all doesn't come up. Why do you want to leave? There's no way. I mean, you don't have to tell us. I get it.
You
don't
an
have to
exit
reveal
interview,
it.
don't you?
It's just
isn't that standard
so
operating
dishonest.
procedure?
That's my opinion. I'm selling that. I'm selling that. And if they didn't have the conversation, then that's a bigger red flag to what the relationship was in the first place. If you can't even talk about it with someone you're close to in the building, that's my opinion.
All right. You buying or selling Goody's comment on Jordan Morgan? His first couple of years in the league, the way we had to move him around to do what's best for the team probably wasn't the best for him. I'm excited for him to maybe stay in one place. We'll see if that transpires.
Yeah, I am buying that, because when a guy comes in playing 2,000 snaps at left tackle, and we always want to be smarter, and we always want to look at the arm frame and the length and the size, and you watch the guy's feet, you can tell that he plays tackle, right? Like you can tell that is the position that he's going to be most comfortable with. And there's a reason why guys hate flipping from the right side to the left. And the joke is it's like wiping with your other hand. There's a reason why you wipe with one hand, because you're good at it. You might not be good with the other hand. And I think just succinctly with the punching, with his timing and the leverage plays, you can tell he's much more comfortable playing left tackle. And I think there's been this is how we do business in Green Bay. We're always going to cross train. And I think this year and this offseason in particular, Drew, you've seen the Packers maybe change up some of their old school practices, signing 3 different players that now quickly become 5 of the oldest guys on their roster, 5 or 10 of the 3 out of the top oldest players on their roster in Hargrave, St. Juste and company. Then you double it down with, we like Belton. He plays tackle. We'll move him over to right tackle, but he's only going to play right side during camp. Okay, well, why is he different than the guy that you took in the first round 2 years ago? Then he's the right guard, and we're just going to put him at right guard. I think there might be some course correction on what if we make them proficient and good at one spot, then we try to build off on the utility.
That's interesting.
Because not everyone's TJ Lang, where you can bump around 3 different spots and play that all in one game.
Yeah. It was an interesting year on the offensive line for a lot of reasons, but the thing to me, the most interesting story arc was the Sean Ryan, like going from, I know I'm out of here, to all of a sudden, I got the extension.
I'm the one that gets the extension. Yeah, that was pretty stunning.
That arc was pretty wild, and Goody addressed that yesterday too.
And to know that you have a guy like Ryan, who clearly you wanted to extend, you want to have your draft picks stay with you. You want your draft picks to be guys that you can consistently keep. But for Ryan, he was as up and down as anybody. And frankly, Drew, I just didn't see it, right? Like I hadn't seen that he was going to be that player for him. But for Goody to be able to come out and feel confident in him going forward, that's a huge boost for that young man to be able to roll through it. You buying Goody's statement on Rashawn Gary that they were pretty down with bringing him back? The question was, were you surprised that you got a 4th round pick for Rashawn Gary? The tough part about Rashawn is he's such a good player. But I think you're going to go into a football team. It made quite a bit of sense. Quite frankly, a guy with 60 pressures, 7.5 sacks, and a guy you can count on consistently. There are not a lot of those guys in the National Football League. He's still a pretty young player. Probably his best football still ahead of him. So I'm not surprised at all.
Oh my.
And we weren't going to move on from him unless we could get something that made sense for us.
It sounds like a guy he'd love to trade. A guy that's young, consistent performer, best days ahead of him. Let's see what we can get for this guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally buying that. No, I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Here's the thing about it, though. I will say this. I think they would be cool bringing him back if there were no good offers in a trade and he took a significant pay cut. I think they would have said, "Oh, okay, well, at a bargain,
that wasn't gonna happen.
At a bargain, yeah,
Zaire
exactly."
Franklin,
yeah, and he took a significant one with the Cowboys.
He certainly did.
No, obviously, I'm selling that. I don't.
There you go. All right,
Come on, like it's so funny to me.
Billy, it's time for a little who's hot and who's not. Brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. And you mentioned it's almost windows open season, and pretty soon it'll be air conditioning season too.
Yeah, in this week you might do a little flipping. You might do a little buying or selling. You might do a little flipping on the heat, flipping on the air. If you need somebody to fix or replace your furnace or air conditioner, do you want the owner of a company or some guy that claims to be, well, an electrician, or maybe he's just a plumber? Billy Schmidt here, guys. The easy choice is to give the call to the owner and go to Donovan Jorgensen, because they are the largest employee-owned HVAC system company in the state of Wisconsin for over 40 plus years. DonovanJorgensen.com. I'll say who's hot. Sky Moore. Sounds like he's got a legit chance to not only be the punt returner and kick returner for the Packers. They signed him to some guaranteed cash. He's going to be on the team. He's not going to get McCole Hardman. It doesn't appear. And the other guy that's hot, let's just be honest with it. You knew he was going to roll in with some more confidence off of the WBC. And Bryce Terang is just a walking double right now. And it is nice to have him atop the lineup, Drew. And if there's the worried about roles that Matt LaFleur has talked about, maybe we make it pretty clear. Bryce Terang, you're going to be our leadoff hitter until Jackson Churio gets back. Then you'll be the 2-hole hitter
after.
Or maybe you just stay at the top and we just set it and forget it and roll.
That could be.
And he's a cautionary tale. That's I said it wrong. He's a reminder of what you cautionary tale about giving up on a player's ability too early in terms of what he was as an offensive player. His first year and his first couple of years. Here's a guy that's improved offensively every year. He's become a force in the lineup with his bat. And it was working when his glove was good, but he was sitting there at the 580 OPS mark. Everyone was saying, we can't handle this hole in our lineup. You never know how a player is going to progress. You don't want to give up on a guy too early. So that's always my favorite one to think about when I think about guys in the futures, things like that.
He's a first-round pick, and his dad played in the big leagues. It's not a surprise that he's going to be good, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's supposed to be good. So,
and the funny thing is they were just been so bad at first-round picks that you're almost surprised that they end up hitting on one. But the development and just the simple ball player mentality that he has is pretty elite. The other who's hot, but now he might not be. Now it might just be all over for our friend Joey Weimer, who last night tied the all-time record for reaching base on your first 10 plate appearances of a season and your first 10 plate appearances with a brand new team. Then he was retired back-to-back times. However, on base 3 out of the 5 plate appearances last night for the Washington Nationals. In the 9-hole, Joey Weimer. There's a reason why people wanted to get a Joey Weimer haircut. I think we might forget about that at American Family Field, that they were giving people Joey Weimer cuts back in the day in the bleachers. He was a fan favorite, and you want to talk about somebody that you're excited for. I'm definitely happy that he can find himself in the hot category. Not very happy, Drew, that this Johnny LaDuca guy was definitely hot last night, reaching base on a walk, then hitting the solo shot. Big time onions for him to be able to score the winning run last night. And clearly, who's hot? Cooper Pratt with a $50 million.
Him too. Yeah, we could have just gone Joey Weimer for who's hot and Caleb Durbin for who's not.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Caleb Durbin drew a walk in the season opener as part of an 0-for-3 against the Reds. But that was okay because the Sox won that game. Then he was 0-for-5, 0-for-4, and last night 0-for-2 in their losses.
Yeah.
So the Sox are 1-4, and Caleb Durbin has yet to get a base hit.
Started the 0-for and the not a good start for him. Sox fans are not happy about it, but hey, it's a long year. Yeah, another example. Joey Weimer, guy, way to go, never gave up, turned his thing around here. Right. See if he can make a career out of this thing, and another success story.
Good luck to him. Our friends at Game Day Men's Health waiting for you. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Check them out. I go to the Brookfield location. There are several in the area. There's the one in Middleton. They're statewide. They're nationwide. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Men's health, not a taboo subject anymore. They can help you with any number of things. They have testosterone replacement therapy. Peptides are the big thing right now. Look into the peptide therapy, EPAT therapy for injury recovery, weight loss. They've got you covered. Sexual erectile dysfunction treatments. They've got it all for you. GameDayMen'sHealth.com, the website. When we come back, halftime, Dolph is off, but Matt Miller's going to pinch hit. Then
That's
coming
a good pinch hitter.
At 7, we got Mike Hastings, coach of the Badgers, bound for the Frozen Four in Vegas. And then our pal Bill Schroeder will bring us home at 7:30. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's halftime of our program today. Scott Dolphin is hiking. We hope he's having a good time. He'll be back later in the week.
Grab that life alert.
So we go to the bullpen for a promising young right-hander named Matt Miller, a man about film. Hello, Matt. Thanks for pinch hitting.
Hadley hodily.
We are happy to have you, my friend. So how deep are you into baseball? Do you got you take a trip every year? The Brewers are back. We are 4 games in. How deep are you? Are you a hook, line, and sinker on this? Or
It's baseball. Baseball's the best.
I was gonna say, or are you hard down preparing for the Milwaukee Film Festival?
I mean, that's always on the docket. I mean, that is. I mean, I contain multitudes, Drew. So, so I got a lot of. Hockey playoffs as well. We're gearing up for those. Allegedly, the NBA postseason is happening too. So
well, it's going to be good. It's the only part that's good. It's the part that's going to be good for the NBA, which is nice. They need something to go their way.
Yeah,
Matt, we talk about drama and we talk about unintended consequences over the last couple of days. I don't know that MLB would have thought that the replay challenge system would bring drama into an atmosphere and energy, but it's now the largest crowd pop that happens. Yes. William Contreras hits a home run last night. Awesome. Place is excited. They blast off the fireworks. Bernie hits the slide. When they rung somebody up for a called third strike, Bryce Terang won that challenge and it was a ball. That place pops like no other. I don't know where that kind of drama or atmosphere, you can't manufacture that, but sometimes like in film, you just stumble upon greatness, and it feels like baseball kind of did with this one.
Yeah, and I was a little nervous about the ABS thing because I saw it in action in AAA like a year or two ago. I think it was in Durham, North Carolina, seeing the Durham Bulls. And I was a little nervous because, with a lot of these replay things, it really can ruin the kind of rhythm of the game and the kind of excitement. I think a lot about in the Premier League and their review system and how, when they integrated that, every time there was a goal, instead of this like thrilled pop from the crowd, VAR, that's the one.
VAR, yeah.
Yeah. And instead of the crowd being like super excited when a goal happened, there would be an excitement and then an immediate like, wait. We have to make sure what if there was a brief moment where a toothpick gap, the person was offsides by that much. And it kind of ruined the energy of the game in some cases. And I was worried with ABS where it was like, okay, big exciting strikeout to end an inning. Oh, wait, there's a review. Okay, the audience, the crowd has to like kind of like maintain their excitement. But thus far, 4 or 5 games into the season, it seems to be a hit. And I think part of it is, in a lot of cases, it's bad calls from umpires, getting corrected correctly, and the crowd is loving it. And I think going to the tennis approach of having the kind of like exciting, like visual of zooming in on where the ball lands. And quickly. It's weirdly good drama. And hopefully, credit to him. It's worked out so far. We'll see. At some point, there's going to be a weird ABS thing, and we're going to be like, oh, you win some, you lose some, or something like that. But I'm happy it seems to be working out so far and is resulting in A, correct calls, and B, somehow even more fun.
It is interesting how it works better in some sports than others when, during the NCAA tournament, some of these games, you've just been so frustrated about so many reviews and how long some of them have taken.
Well, infamously, the NBA, where the final 2 minutes of a game take 15 to 30 minutes because, the ball went out of bounds, but who did it go off of? And, is the spirit of the rule that I'm not looking forward to that in the NBA playoffs because that's the end of every game. There's very few. I think that was what was exciting about a lot of the NCAA tournament games, or at least in the first round, was that you didn't have too many of those like, oh man, geez, this final 30 seconds is 30 minutes. There was a lot of just like pure back and forth excitement. The Wisconsin High Point ending wasn't good for Badger fans, but it was good for people who enjoyed, just exciting basketball that was happening in front of your eyes. the buzzer beater with Kentucky, right? It was Kentucky and Santa Clara, that there was that there wasn't this kind of review quagmire that broke out, and instead it was just kind of pure basketball for a while there. So it's really great so far. I mean, remember last year, though, 4 games in, we were talking about how torpedo bats were going to revolutionize the sport of baseball, and how maybe things would never be the same again. So for all we know, at the end of the season, ABS is going to be like, oh no, what have we done? What demon have we unleashed on our sport? But right now, it rules.
Talking to Matt Miller, he's filling in for Scott Dolphin today. You can find Matt, a man about film, on the X.
But without the Bears love.
That's right. Without the Bears love or the Iowa Hawkeyes love. We tolerate your Notre Dame takes because of your wife. We got that. That's all right. But
yeah, I married into that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Matt, I want to know what your thoughts are, because I mentioned the Milwaukee Film Festival is approaching. The Euchre doc. It was a big talk at opening day because the producers have been making the rounds and doing the media car wash. Obviously, this is a piece that they were working on for a couple of years. What do you expect, and what do you think people will get from this kind of a lasting tribute to an immortal Wisconsin figure?
Yeah, it's kind of wild. There hasn't been a proper Uke doc really ever, and especially because A, he's such a great storyteller, and B, he has so many stories to tell.
His life's been a doc in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is the opening night selection at the Milwaukee Film Festival this year, which is a great choice on their part. And I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I mean, half of the quality of a documentary is choosing the right subject. And Bob Uecker is the perfect subject for a documentary. Again, what a life he's lived, what a career he had, both, obviously in the broadcast booth, but then, you add in the entertainment side of things. I think it's going to be super crowd pleasing. It's going to get the festival started on the right note. In terms of people, coming in and leaving, probably feeling really, really good, spirits high. And also, I mean, the Milwaukee Film Festival has had this awkward thing where they're competing with baseball, basically. They're competing with the start of the Brewers season. And now they kind of get the best of both worlds. They kind of are like, oh, don't worry, you're missing the Brewer game for the next 2 weeks. We'll see you, you get your Brewers baseball a little bit, and then, you get to see the film festival as well. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great festival this year. I already have mapped everything out for myself, and I hope my pregnant wife, if that baby of mine comes out,
stay in there. Come on now, stay in the oven.
Be careful.
He better listen. I have never been early for anything in my life, and this kid better not be early.
Stay in. We've got the film festival.
Oh my God!
It is interesting how
First, you should be fine.
Ask Billy about having a child right before the draft.
Yeah, I know.
That's well timed. Yeah.
No, it's interesting how sports and documentary filmmaking have collided over the decades. Now, I mean, once upon a time, I think the original genre of documentaries, tell me if I'm wrong, were about things, life things in the world and things like that. And then it slowly delved into sports. And then 30 for 30s became very popular. And now sports documentaries have taken on this whole new life form. Some good, some bad. We've talked about the Untold series on Netflix, kind of boring. But it is amazing how that's kind of those two worlds have collided, man.
Yeah, and you think about Hoop Dreams in the 90s, which was
the main one. Yeah.
A massive doc for its time. And I think what has been a little sad over the years, and this is just documentary in general, not just sports documentaries, is how much they've become like sponsored content, basically.
Sure.
The amount of these documentaries that come out that feel like it is just about, brand management rather than finding a good story and wanting to tell that story truthfully and honestly and in a way that is compelling. That's kind of sad, and that's across. I mean, all these music documentaries that basically just exist to puff up the star, and
marketing,
all these brand rehabilitation documentaries that just exist to be like, listen, I know you've heard bad things, but I'm actually a great person. So obviously, with the Uke doc, I don't think you're going to have that because, again, who are we puffing up here? Like he is no longer with us. But also, it's such a great story. Again, it's wild that we haven't really had the proper Uke 30 for 30 style treatment here.
My question is, how do you keep it under 4 hours?
That's the problem.
It's got to be
you got to so much
playing career, the Tonight Show thing. Hell, just the clips of Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang, if you've never seen those.
Amazing.
Right? And just the stories he has to tell too. Like you could probably make a documentary of just him sitting at like a bar with the documentarian, just telling incredible stories and making
I got
jokes.
to see many of his stories in the dining rooms across the major leagues.
And he's one of the rare guys that had, he had a show every day in a lot of ways. If you slog through all the old broadcasts, he did a show every day. There's so much content there. It's just an incredible resource.
I wish they had video of him doing the furry conversation.
It's one of the many.
I think out of all the documentary parts, I wish we had live video of
Montreal Jean-Jacques Smythe thing too. I think, and I don't know, and I didn't talk to producers. Hunter interviewed the guys. I haven't talked to the producers yet. I look forward to doing so. But I think I was telling Billy and Armen the other day that what people will be if they get into it, like they will marvel at Uke's resilience and what a tough SOB he was to go through the medical things that he went through, especially at the end that last season when he was getting through it and Brewers were trying to get to the World Series. They had a heartbreaking loss against the Mets with that last sign off. But man, that dude, brown recluse spider bite, open heart surgeries, cancer scares, aortic aneurysms.
Unbelievable.
He had like 10 things that would have killed anybody else. And
the man lived a life. The man got his money's worth. That is 100%.
He absolutely did.
That's the kind of life that a documentary is made for. And like I said,
very documentary on anybody who gets both knees replaced at the same time.
That would be a winner.
A medical marvel. They don't even let you do that.
No.
But Euchre did it and got him both knees replaced
Why would I
at
waste
the same time.
Funny because we were joking earlier in the show about an ill-fated attempt. I had to recreate a moment from the '87 Brewers team yearbook. And it made me think they don't really do those things anymore. And Euchre narrated all of those things.
That's
so
right.
It's a different deal. In a day and age where some of the best media and filmmaking comes from, from the staffs of teams now. I mean, after the Yelich home run, they did the pomp and circumstance and the video, the cinematic quality video. It's like media staffs of teams now are putting out some of the best quote unquote filmmaking there is,
Well, and also I think, every team now has like their social media team and their filmographers and everyone's kind of got the same kind of house style in a way where everybody's got the same thing they're going for. And you do miss the days of like each team having like their radio guy who was like, a storyteller in his way and had his jokes in his way and his weird, brand, the weird kind of off-brand companies that he did reads for and stuff like that. And there is something very I don't know if we'll ever have like a Uke again in any sport, a person who sticks around that long, who has the leash to have the freedom to talk about the game and bring audiences in the way Uke did. I just don't know if, and a lot of that too is just how the longevity in the career, how many people can put in 40 years in this job and build the kind of, respect and love and adoration that you could, where he could. And I mean, it goes for the Dodgers radio announcer whose name I'm
Vince Scully.
Yeah. Thank you. These guys who turned the game into an art, who talked about the sport in a way that felt like you were watching a story, not just a meaningless game in July or August.
Beautiful. Matt Miller, a man about film. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you pinch hitting for Dolph.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. See a movie this weekend.
We're going to try.
That's a good idea. You know what? I think
Brewers are out of town.
It's not going to be Frozen 2 for the 98th time this week.
Project Hail Mary. Good movie. Good time.
Checking it out.
We're in.
The funniest movie about the end of the world you'll see this year.
Better than This Is the End?
This year. I mean,
I was going to say. Good. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
See you, buddy.
All right.
I mean, when that big old sinkhole opens up and Seth Rogen and everybody are staring at it, it's going to be hard to beat.
It's going to be good. No question. Our cup runneth over in the 7 o'clock hour. We're going to talk to Mike Hastings, who's on his way to the Frozen Four with Badgers men's hockey team. And Bill Schroeder is going to join us as well. You're listening to The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen. This portion of the program brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, the best when it comes to orthopedic care. Don't limp around like a dumbass like I did for 2 years on a bad hip. In fact, I'm a week away from my, it would be my 2-year anniversary of hip replacement.
That's amazing, man.
So, yeah, giddy up. Go check them out, orthowisconsin.com. If you have a sports injury or someone in your family has a sports injury, they're the best. If you have a chronic problem, check them out. orthowisconsin.com, Orthopedic Associates Wisconsin. There is a difference. You can reach us at 877-794-1973. Buy or sell propositions. React to the conversations we've been having so far. Billy, one thing we didn't talk about was the Jaden Ivey story released by the Chicago Bulls.
Wow.
Tough development for Purdue fans.
Oh my! Well, yeah, that is kind of sad
He's
to
a
see
Purdue
when you're
guy, but he's
tough of development for.
appears to be swirling in
Bulls
some
fan.
mental health issues. Released for conduct detrimental to the team. He got rid of like most of his social media, but then he went on an hour-long.
Man, he was
rants,
he was going on like multiple like long video rants of him recording and basically up his nostril. But going in on a lot of different religious beliefs. There were a lot of anti-NBA and LGBTQ statements in there as well. He also, though, took the flamethrower to Steph Curry. And now some people are saying you can say a lot of things. You start taking shots at Steph Curry, we're gonna have some problems. But it's he had like a month or so ago, right after the Bulls acquired him, after a game was like, yeah, the old Jaden Ivey's dead.
The old Jay is dead. I'm alive in Christ, no matter what the basketball setting is. Obviously, his faith is not the.
But he's also like, I'm just not the same player,
right?
And like that's all
the
right.
Problem.
Might be a good warning sign of, we might have a problem here. And it only went crazier and more haywire from there. Drew, it's one of those tough ones where you have right now the best team in basketball. And they're cool parting with a young star that they took 6th overall. They might know what's going on better than you do. It seems like maybe the Detroit Pistons were like, all right, before any of this stuff really hits the newswire, get him out of here and get anything we can. And it's a wild 3 months that's taken his career.
There was a former player who tweeted something like prayers for him or pray for him. And
Josh Giddey said he hopes he gets the help he needs.
Yeah.
So when you get,
there's a
Josh
lot of
Giddey,
that. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like Delonte West and other guys who have had mental health issues and stuff, but it seems to be trending that way. And it's like, oof.
Yeah, man,
his mom's the coach at Notre Dame.
That was the other part. His mom's the coach at Notre Dame, and then there was a lot of Christianity and Catholicism things in there. Sadly, she might have some weird conversations here tonight. But you go through the stages of it, and being in the being in the public eye will do stuff to you. Being in the public eye from a very, very young age will do stuff to you. And he was one of the most promising, hyped up young players that there was. You really just hope that he gets the help that he needs, or you know what, maybe he doesn't want it right now, and whenever he's ready, hopefully it happens, because that's one thing that you always are hoping for, the best of the guys being able to move forward in life, because this is only a short time, Drew, and whether it's something like this, or there's a lot of guys that once the NFL, NBA, or Major League Baseball tells them they're done with their career, they really struggle with something else because it's been their identity for so long.
The quote was, and this was on, I believe, the Delta flight. You were talking about he's boarding a Delta flight while he's doing this.
Talking for like 15 minutes.
Boy, imagine getting seated in that situation. I mean, on the flight, you got your headphones on. You're just trying to, he says, Steph Curry, you don't know Jesus. I pray he's saved in Jesus' name. All that stuff isn't going to matter on Judgment Day. All them rings he got, all them rings LeBron got, Jordan got, they're going to try and stop me, but I'm going to keep speaking the truth. And then he had to power down because you can't use,
flight attendant
in flight. You can't use the phone,
The flight attendant, sir, are you using data?
We'd love for you to get our Wi-Fi.
Oh my goodness. So the LGBTQ stuff, that's always like a hot issue.
Always a hot issue.
Against Pride Night, but
you'll hear a lot
there
about
are certain
that.
people who would like, hey, that's our guy, right? That's, hey, good for him speaking out. But then he was ranting about Steph, LeBron, the Cookie Monster. He was wandering all over the place.
It wasn't just like, it wasn't just, hey, this is the problem.
It wasn't a single issue thing.
That's the part that's going to be pulled out.
Catholicism, and like, you're right.
Well, and
Christianity,
localize it a tick. I mean, I'm not equating Aaron Rodgers and Jaden Ivey together. Aaron Rodgers would say something of conflict with one side's political party, and that side would be like, that's the NFL player that we need.
Yeah.
Then he's like, hey, I don't want to be associated with any of you guys. And then I think everybody started listening like, oh, he's got conflicting beliefs on both sides. Jaden Ivey's just got beliefs.
Just
And,
uncontrolled rambling.
I don't know anybody's rolling through
it was
it.
just a
He did
ramble.
also say, like you said, Cookie Monster in there.
There's some weird stuff.
He made a point about pie, I think, at some point. I don't
Likes
know.
apple pie.
Yeah, that too.
Who
That
doesn't
too.
like apple pie?
All right.
Little
When-
ice cream on top?
When we come back, we're going to catch up with Badgers hockey coach Mike Hastings on his way to the Frozen Four in Vegas after a thrilling
Coach.
weekend in Worcester. That's coming up. Bill Schroeder's coming up at 7:30. You're in the right place. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers were looking to go 4-0 with the Tampa Bay Rays in town.
Fly ball. Deep center. It is back and gone. They've got the lead. First of the year for Contreras, and that ball was clobbered.
Jeff Levering on the play-by-play on Brewers television. That may have given the Crew a 2-1 lead, but it wouldn't last. Tampa Bay scores one in the seventh and another in the ninth for the win. 3-2 the final score. Same two teams again tonight. Brandon Woodruff makes his 2026 debut. He'll be opposed by Tampa Bay's Shane McClanahan. Other scores from the Central. The Cubs turn away the Angels 7-2. The Cardinals lose to the Mets in St. Louis 4-2. It was the Reds blanking the Pirates 2-0. Football news at the league meetings in Phoenix. The NFL awarded Super Bowl 63 to Las Vegas. This year it's in Los Angeles, then to Atlanta, then back to Allegiant Stadium. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you. You need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right, that's all we're going to down to. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down now, Jeff, and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Badgers hold his own. Dexheimer shoots one down. Score! Badgers score! And Dexheimer from out high right. It skipped off traffic past Trey Augustine. Oh, I can't believe this. It feels so good to finally say it again. Wisconsin is going to the Frozen Four. The Badgers just knocked out the Big Ten champions, and now they'll take their chances in Las Vegas.
A goosebump moment from Worcester.
Good.
Badger hockey. Drew Olson, Bill Schmidt, Armen Sarian with you on the Huddle, and we are happy to be joined by the coach of the Wisconsin Badgers men's hockey team, Mike Hastings. Coach, thanks for joining us. Thanks for getting up early. We appreciate it. I'm wondering, the plane touchdown a few days ago, can we say the same for the feet for you and your staff and the players?
Thanks for having me on. But yeah, we touched down and we didn't get back till late. There was some delays on us getting out of there, but tell you guys, I didn't think I'd enjoy Worcester as much as I did because it's probably not a vacation spot, but it was definitely a really good weekend for us.
Fantastic.
Coach, seeing the celebration on the bench and when Dex hits that one from the blue line, first off, it's an incredible shot, and we love screening the goalie. We love getting some bodies in front, and that puck can find its way into the back of the net. But man, just the sheer elation from the guys, it did almost seem like the camera got you for a second saying, holy cow, what just happened? How quickly, that's like 15 minutes of a whirlwind where your life completely changes. Can you even describe what that moment was like?
Yeah, you know what? It was a little bit unique just because of where Dexy shot that puck from. The view from the bench, you could see the goaltender. And so I can just say this, when he let that go, you could see net. And I actually thought when he shot it, that one might go in. And it gets deflected. And, you know, Trey Augustine, their goaltender, is up for the Mike Richter. He's been a thorn in a lot of people's side. And for us to be able to find a way to, one, get it to even and then get it pushed over the goal line there in overtime it was special. You know what? This group's been questioned a lot this year. And I think sometimes when you go through that adversity, it toughens you up a little bit. And I thought the guys really showed that over that last period to get us to even and give us a chance in overtime.
You know, coming out of this weekend in tournaments, everybody's talking about UConn's comeback, but coming back from 2 goals down against that goalie, is pretty good. But Mike, I got to ask, like, we're in this trend now of overtimes being decided really quick. In my experience watching puck years ago, it would be, well, the guys seem to be squeezing the stick a little bit, and you had to kind of, nobody wanted to make a mistake, and everybody was being cautious. And we've seen it now in the Olympics, men's and women's. We saw it with the Badgers women's team in the semis. It seems like overtime now is, you better be in your seat when the puck drops for overtime, because we're getting quick resolutions. What is the mindset and mentality in OT?
Yeah, you know what? For that game, it was a little unique just because we finished that third period the way we did at coming back, and the guys have done a really good job at sticking with it. And I think that started even on the Thursday where I think we had 4 posts before we ended up getting our second goal against Dartmouth. And our leadership group's done an unbelievable job. They settled our group down in between the third period and overtime. I walked in, and you know what? They were saying all the right things. They got back to being focused on us being us. And Dexy was the one that was talking about it in the locker room. Hey guys, any shot's a good shot. And he'd gone through some adversity in that game, and to have him find a way to get it done for us was a little bit poetic, because the puck went off his stick when we were up by 1, goes in the back of the net. He takes a penalty. We go down 3-1. But I think it says a lot about Ben Dexheimer, as he flushed those things and went right on to the next one. And he's been a guy that's been carrying a lot of the weight for us as our captain this year, as our leadership group has. And yeah, it was great to get done early. I can tell you that, because it's been a journey for this group.
Fantastic. All right, so you're in this mode where you're kind of like a team that's waiting for the Super Bowl. You got this week to prepare. Is that a blessing or a curse? Like, how do you go after it? You're going to have a mini training camp. You ramp up. It lets everybody kind of get their bearings and get their plans in place, and family travel and all that stuff. And you got to, I know guys got to think about tickets and plans. What is this week like? What is this week like? And then what will next week be like?
Well, and again, I think we're fortunate now. I wouldn't say back then when we get smoked at home by Ohio State. We had to wait and see what our fate was. And we've got around the same amount of time in between games that we had from when we lost to Ohio State to getting into the tournament and playing Dartmouth. So, you know what, we changed some things up, because a couple years ago we were in that spot and we didn't manage it very well. We came out against Quinnipiac 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament, and I think our first shot was around the 12 or 13 minute mark. And so we adjusted some things. It'll be the same this week. We took a couple of days off. We've had some guys with some bumps and bruises, and so we'll get back at it today. But Sunday and Monday we're off, and we'll go at it here for the next 3 days, and then take Friday off, and then reset on Saturday. So for us, it worked for us on the way going into the regional. The guys were focused on what they needed to do, and their preparation and staying on point was really fantastic, and it allowed us to get off to a good start against Dartmouth. So we'll go with the same schedule as we did that week.
Talking with Badgers men hockey coach Mike Hastings here on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Coach, you've talked about it a couple of times, the adversity the group goes with. I'm pretty steadfast in there's no championship team that doesn't face adversity. And everybody talks about we've been through a lot. You don't know it unless you've been in that room and with those boys rolling through the problems. But when you drop 6 in a row, obviously there's questions. There's hard conversations. You mentioned the loss to Ohio State. How much better is this team, in your opinion, because they went through those things?
I think it's the only way we get through it. And you know, when you go through that 6-game losing streak as a coach, you're okay having some learning moments. You just don't want it to last for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And The group, we've gone through some adversity through injuries, which all teams go through, but we lost some pretty significant players. We lost Zach Schultz, who's now back skating to a broken leg right around Christmas, and then Logan Hensler, a first-round draft pick of Ottawa, tears his knee up against Minnesota at Minnesota during that 6-game streak. And so we've had to have different guys step up at different times for us. And I just believe that breeds confidence. One thing we talk about at the beginning of the year is we've got a 26-man roster. That's what the NCAA says we can have for max. And in our sport, it's a little bit different. We don't have backups to the backups. All 26 of our guys have to be able to play and contribute because of the grind of a 9-month season. Different guys go down. And during that 6-game streak, other than those two guys being out, we'd lost Gavin Morrissey, who's our leading scorer. We'd lost our second-line center in Vasily Zelenov. So different guys had to kind of go through that grind. And that's experience that you can't buy. You don't always want to go through those valleys, but I do think they toughen you up. And they definitely prepared this group for what we had to go through last weekend, and we're planning on that, preparing us for what we've got in front of us.
Will you draw upon your previous trips to the Frozen Four to inform what happens this time? It's a little bit different going to Vegas, right? That's its own. That's its own.
Players got money in their pocket.
Yeah, I mean, we will. We've talked about it. The one thing, and you guys brought it up in the opening, there's a lot of noise that comes with this. There's a lot more distractions. We're trying to get as much of that out of the way as we can here in the next few days, as far as what you had mentioned, tickets and family, because you want our athletes to be able to experience that. But the best way to do it is get those things done so we can focus the task at hand. And so, yeah, just some of the times that I've been there, the last 2 times, really the only 2 times that I've been to the Frozen Four, there's just a lot more focus on media, and people are looking to get inside what makes your team tick. And I think that's fantastic. These experiences will provide these guys with something that they can use for the rest of their lives. But at the end of the day, we've still got a lot of work to do. This is what we've been trying to prepare for, this opportunity, and we've just got to stay on task with that.
Something feels so right about the Badgers men's side being in the Frozen Four, being back, but playing North Dakota also. If you're of a certain vintage, you still see people with the jerseys with the WCHA, and this rivalry with North Dakota has great historical roots for the olds. I'm sure Brian Pozik's probably told you about some of the stuff that's gone on historically between these two programs. So what's it going to be like facing them when you get to Vegas?
Well, it's kind of unique. I grew up in Crookston, Minnesota, and it's about 22 miles from UND's campus. And so that's where I first experienced Wisconsin. UND was hosting a regional at old Ralph Engelstad Arena. And I was fortunate enough to tag along with a buddy and his dad. And we went over and made a real impression to me because I just saw the following, the Wisconsin band. When I was growing up, Wisconsin had it cooking. And the old WCHA, I thought, was the conference in the country. And so for us to be playing a storied program like that at this time of the year, they're all giants, right? Everybody's good. They've earned the opportunity to be there. And it's an opportunity we want to take advantage of. They're good. They're big. They're heavy. They're hard. Jax has done a great job being a first-year coach there, but he's an alum of North Dakota. So I've got a good history with understanding what North Dakota's about. We've actually got them on our schedule here, not next year, but a home and home with them after that. And Jax and I have been going back and forth at trying to make that something that'll be something that we'll be doing on a consistent basis going forward. And I think the people in Grand Forks will appreciate Wisconsin going there. And I know the fans here at Wisconsin, because of the history, will really enjoy North Dakota being here.
Coach, it's pretty impressive how the Big Ten, though, has taken hockey by storm, and obviously so many great teams are playing in this conference. Yesterday, I know you're probably not thinking a lot back and retrospectively right now, but yesterday, the 3-year anniversary of you getting introduced and hired as the 6th hockey coach at the University of Wisconsin. How different is the Big Ten in just these 3 years and over the last, decade plus since everybody's taken it over, that it is not only a football conference, basketball, but hockey is right at the top where the best puck is being played in this conference?
Yeah, I can say there's no nights off. It's if you're not prepared to play in our league, you won't get beat, you'll get embarrassed. So for me, the talent from top to bottom in the Big Ten, you're seeing future NHL stars, and they're littered on every roster in our league. And so, the idea of trying to grow our game is in real good hands, not just in the Big Ten, but all of college hockey you're seeing right now and the following. But for us to be able, and the people here that I've learned, we had a Saturday night against Michigan, and we had 15-5 in the building. There is a passion for hockey. There's a passion at Wisconsin for following excellence, and it doesn't matter if you're talking football, basketball, volleyball, women's hockey. I get to brush elbows with Mark Johnson on a consistent basis, and there's an expectation of success here. And the Big Ten, I think, breeds that, because if you're gonna go and battle that week in and week out, it does prepare you for what we just went through this last weekend.
I know a lot of your players, hockey players in general, are some of them pretty superstitious. They have their routines, their little quirks. Do you or any of your assistants have your own little pregame routines, perhaps, that you stick to, that you adhere to?
Yeah, you know what? I used to hold on to that quite a bit, whether it be a tie, whether it be a suit, whether it be our pregame walk, things like that. At the end of the day, kind of let those go by the wayside, because at the end of the day, it's about trying to get the guys prepared. And there are some guys that do their different things, and you respect that because you've learned it as you've grown up and you've been in the locker room, and we've got different shapes, sizes, mentality. At the end of the day, it's about going out and getting it done, and different guys do it different ways. You respect all of them. I will say I've got a couple of assistants that probably do their own thing up until game drop, puck drop, but it's just part of what our game is. It's a special game.
Now, Coach, you mentioned Mark Johnson's name, and when we were following as heavily into the Olympics, everybody was a hockey fan, and I'm with you. We had a good knockout dragout brawl here on the show that I think, like, the boom that hockey is getting right now is exponential. I'm a 31-year-old, sorry. That NHL was barely on ESPN at the time. Now every single night you're seeing the game. The college game is better than it's ever been. But I'm wondering, in Madison and in that room, we heard the men's team at the Olympics say, once the women got the gold medal, we had to match it. So is there a little bit of feeling in the room of, well, they got the trophy, so now that we're in the Frozen Four, we got 2 more to get. And then you might not like this as a Minnesotan. Then we can take over as the state of hockey, because Wisconsin needs to be the state of hockey, Coach.
Well, I got to tell you, when I first got the job, I've been, when you're running around the same area at the Kohl Center here, and we practice at LeBon quite often, and that's where we're practicing right now. And when you're going around and you look up into the rafters and you see the amount of championships that Mark Johnson and his young women have accomplished here, I've been chasing a Porsche, right? And he's hard to follow, but he makes it easy, because he might be one of the most humble human beings I've been able to cross paths with in this sport. He's been phenomenal to me. It's great for our guys to cross paths with his young ladies, because they are some of the best, not only in college hockey, but in the world. And their mentality and their approach every day. And I'm going to say this, they follow their coach. They're humble. They don't mind, commingling with our guys and talking and having the respect. And they're watching our team, we're watching theirs. It's unique. I think our sport's a little different that way. There's a respect that goes with it, especially when you are chasing excellence and how long they have been as good as they have been. It's a great opportunity for myself, our staff, and our players to learn from. And so, yeah, we're tight at the hip. We're trying to catch them, and we'll have an opportunity to try and get one on the board here when we get to Vegas.
Let's have a combined celebration. Have everybody in to enjoy, like throwing out the first pitch at AmFam Field before a Brewers game. Let's make that happen. Mike, last question for you, because I can't think of a better matchup. We mentioned you playing North Dakota. I can't think of a better matchup than Badgers fans in Vegas. I've been there for some basketball games and some football games with Badgers fans in the past. I'm just wondering, I know it's a business trip for you, but is there a place when you go to Vegas, is there a place or two that you have to stop at? Is there anything that you're going to do to have some fun, to squeeze in some fun on this business trip?
You know what I've said? It's one reason I'm real happy with Worcester is because we won. Right, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't a spot that we stayed at. That rink will be something that I'll remember. But when you do these things, to me, you want to write, and we've talked about it as a team. You want to write your own history, and so for us, it is a business trip. We are going to have the guys enjoy it a bit, but at the end of the day, if you want to really enjoy it, you want to be last one standing. And so we've still got some work on our plate. We'll get there. We'll enjoy the experience, but the focus is going to be on finding a way to play on Saturday night and have an opportunity to hang a banner.
And that's going to be the party on Saturday night.
That will be the party.
And if you guys need anybody to carry bags or anything, Coach, you now have our number. You let us know, and I'll be there first thing smoking.
I just hope that they stock up on, Miller products there and stuff, because the Badgers have been known to drink places out of Miller Lite in the past. And Armen was just in Vegas last weekend, and he would tell you to take the boys for an omelet at the Pepper Mill. Just saying.
Very good spot. Big portions, a lot of protein.
Big portions. You guys are hungry. They can load up. Maybe after the skate, take them to the Pepper Mill and get a good meal.
Good call. Good
before
call.
the nap. That'd be amazing.
Two thirsty groups going there, fellas. When I was at North Dakota, I was coaching the World Junior Tournament. I was an assistant, and they drank Grand Forks out of beer. So yeah. I can tell you, we'll go blow for blow with them.
It's dang right, Coach. Dang right, Coach.
Fantastic, Mike. Best of luck. Thanks for joining us. We hope to catch up with you down the road.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for waking
up. Our pleasure. Yeah, our pleasure. Thanks, Coach Mike. Mike Hastings. The Badgers going to the Frozen Four.
You gotta have a little fun, though.
You gotta.
He's right, though. Two thirsty groups.
Oh my
very
goodness.
thirsty groups that are going to be reaching out there in Las Vegas.
Quite.
Stock
up on Miller Lights.
And if Badgers fans are looking to go and get some tickets, secondary market live right now, heavy and a very, very sought after ticket. Not surprising with the Badgers back in the Frozen Four that it was going to be a hot ticket, but the prices are pretty fun. We got to wait to see those come down, and then I need to talk to some of the higher ups here and figure out how we're getting out there.
All right, Billy, who's our current electric superhero of the day? It could be Dexheimer, it could be Mike Hastings and the Badgers, could be.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give it to Mike Hastings and the Badger men, because that part exactly it, Drew, of being able to, he said chase a Porsche. I think that's one of my favorite lines that I've ever seen, of the understanding of the greatness that the institution always has wanted, and to be able to feel like you got to pull your weight and pull your rope and look up in them banners and see all of them hanging in the rafters. Now, if they gave out banners for being the best spot for your outdoor lighting, Current Electric would have a ton of them. Baseball's underway. Hockey's finishing up, and we're going to raise one there in Madison. But outdoor lighting specialists in our area are at Current Electric. Superheroes have a special month in the month of April. $150 off any outdoor lighting package. $150 off any outdoor lighting package. Go check out Current Electric, not only for great landscaping, it keeps your family safe. So slide that extra $150 into your pocket. Call Current Electric. Call current.com. Go and check out Current Electric and get that deal on your landscaping lighting.
Mike Hastings is a new friend of the Huddle. We're bringing in an old friend next. Bill Schroeder from Brewers TV joins us. Don't go anywhere. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We are huddled up on a Tuesday in the Goodland. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. And oh, that music, it's been too long. We welcome our pal from Brewers TV, the Rock himself, Bill Schroeder. Good morning, Rocco. I hope we didn't interrupt Rupert's morning constitutional.
Well, that
or
was
yours.
About 6:30. That was about, well, that's more important, right? 6:30. He had me up. He was shaking and looking at me and saying, "Okay, what are you going to do? Where are we doing this?" So. But anyway, I used to like the old days, Drew, when you used to call me at like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, I know.
It's a better time.
We'd get you in the press box when you were like trying to, or else on the field too. But yeah,
watching
this is
batting practice. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now instead it's 4:30 in the morning and Drew's hopping on the freeway to get it.
Well, good to hear your voice again. Man, it's been a while.
It has been a while. And believe it or not, in the 5 o'clock hour, we're having a substantive conversation about the Brewers, all the things swirling. Luis Matos, Cooper Pratt, the excitement of the opening day series, the Sunday game, which was an instant classic. Last night was a really good game. Didn't go the Brewers' way. But, Rock, we were talking about William Contreras, and this is perfect timing to have you on today. We were talking about the relationship between pitchers and catchers and what happened last night. And can you speak to, for us, what it's like, that chemistry and that develops? Because it seems like Wild Bill is the man back there. And what is that dynamic like?
Yeah. Well, everybody talks about, when a pitcher comes over and a catcher hasn't caught him, and it's going to take a while for, there to have that chemistry. Well, maybe the unspoken, the body language chemistry that, a pitcher and a catcher will go through. But I'd say these catchers these days, they do their homework and they know what's going on. Just because you haven't caught a guy a whole lot doesn't mean it's going to be a mess out there and nobody knows what to throw and when to throw it. But Contreras has done such a good job. He does his work early. When he gets to the ballpark, he talks to the pitchers. Pitchers meetings are much more extensive than they used to be. Back in my day, it was up and in, down and away. And with George Brett, I just hope he hits a line drive at somebody. But there's just so many different things that go into the mind of Chris Hook and Jim Henderson and the pitching group when you're going through scouting reports and things like that. They have to filter what they want to give to the pitcher and catcher. And then during the game, catcher has to determine, on the spot, what a guy's throwing. What's his slider doing? How's his fastball? It seemed like last night, he had a fastball that really was picking up, it really had good spin rate, and it was like a lot harder, faster to the hitter than the actual velocity. But, Contreras is a workhorse, and, you talk about Caro being, up here. Not a better guy that you could learn from than William Contreras. He's been terrific.
Oh, and Rock, being able to have that relationship with new pitchers, and we give Chris Hook, rightfully so, a ton of the credit. But like a Kyle Harrison last night has a career high in swing and misses with 16 in his first start with the Crew, and everybody was fired up about his arrival and the acquisition of it. But being able to have, as he said, some conviction back there, it really does feel like a heck of a steadying force when you are coming into a new spot. And if you're going to maximize what you have in that player, a lot of times the battery mate's just as important.
Yeah, and they work together in spring training. They've been to the meetings. He warms them up in the bullpen, before the game. Every single start, you'll see Contreras go down there and finish a pitcher's warm-ups down in the bullpen, home or road, and and then bust it down into the dugout, gets ready to hit. So there's a lot going on, with Contreras and the pitcher of the day. The bullpen, I think the guys, he knows them pretty well. They're pretty much the same group that was here, for the most part, last year. So that's not a big deal for him. But the work takes place before the game, and the work takes place in spring training, and the work takes place, long before somebody steps in the batter's box. They have an idea of what they want to do, but there are times, and I mentioned this just a minute ago, that if you're saying that this guy he can't handle the fastball in. Well, if your fastball is not that effective that day, and you're not able to find that fastball inside to a right-hander, then you're really not going to use it a whole lot. So you have to make stuff up on the fly, and that's what William does so well. He understands that. He reads hitters. He knows what pitchers are throwing that particular day, and that takes place in the first couple of innings. Sometimes like with Sproat the other day, it's like first inning is sometimes it's all it takes. If a guy's doesn't have it that particular day, that's the difference between a win and a loss. Sometimes in the first inning, the Brewers have had some issues in the first inning so far this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, going back to the playoffs last year, first batter.
Out.
Let's talk about. We're talking to Bill Schroeder, Brewers TV here. And Rock, I got to give you credit because you mentioned Sproat's game. That did not seem in the middle of that game as a winnable game, but you were talking to Lev and saying, McGill's probably going to get in today. Maybe it'll be a save opportunity. Mm-hmm. Nice call on that one, Rock.
Yeah, well, it was like, said maybe get him in there and get some work. I said, how about a save? These guys believe that they are never out of a game. And it's true. I mean, how many times did they come back? How many times did they score 4 more runs in an inning last year? I mean, the 6-run 8th inning, on Sunday, amazing stuff. I mean, it's just been a pleasure to watch these guys, and they're getting better and better, every year. More experience. You got Terang, who's become one of the best in the business, and Frelick, what he does on a daily basis. So I'm just honored that I'm able to cover these games and follow these guys, and be at the ballpark and on the field, talk to them. And when you get to the ballpark, Drew, and you go to the ballpark early every now and again, and you should do it every single day. How hard they work even before anybody shows up at the ballpark. So they're working at their craft. They're taking extra swings. They're taking ground balls. Ian Ortiz, there's not a better double play combination in all of baseball than those two guys.
Yeah, and until that 8th inning rally, that double play was going to be the highlight of the game.
Time.
But that, Rock, the 8th inning rally, everybody had a hand in it. Rengifo had a great at-bat. And we can talk about Yelich and the drama of him coming into pinch hit and the way the crowd reacted and stuff. But I came on yesterday and said that was a bullpen victory because the bullpen locked down, and that's what enabled the Brewers to come back. And we saw that, and that's a continuation of the last year and the last couple of years, is the bullpen keeps them in games and lets them come back.
Yeah, they were down 7-2 after 3 innings, and then the bullpen allowed nothing, and they allowed the guys to have the confidence to come back. That game could have been way out of hand early had the bullpen come in and not done its job. It could have been 10-2 or 12-2, something like that. But you're right. I mean, the offense got the headlines in that game. Sproat had a rough start. I mean, you got to feel bad for the kid. He's going to have better days ahead. He's got incredible stuff. He just couldn't find the plate with any of his stuff in that start. But I mean, if the bullpen doesn't get it done, I mean, that was the star of that game for sure. The Brewers bullpen, and they do it time in and time again.
Rock, you mentioned Bryce Terang just a second ago about all of these guys getting better, but his ascension over the last 100-odd games or so, if you go back to last year when the power stroke really hit in, he's like a walking double. He's an absolute problem in the box. And what he delivers on defense, it seems like when you start looking at the players that are fully taking over the mantle as the guys, obviously Yelly is still going to be the mainstay. But, man, Bryce Terang has just taken a leap forward that you always want first-round picks to do. But you've been covering the Brewers for a long time, Rock. There weren't a whole lot of first-round picks that you were calling games for, and he has just become an absolute star. And it feels like the WBC might have been the launching pad nationally for people to get a little bit more of a taste of what we know here.
Yeah, he's been terrific. I mean, last year, the 10 home runs, I think it was 10 home runs in August last year. I mean, I think that kind of was the springboard, for him, and the power stroke. And, he's always had the defense, a platinum, platinum glove winner a couple of years ago. Now I can't believe he didn't win a gold glove last year. But, he's turning himself into when it's time for him to be a free agent, to be one of the top free agents, on the market. And that may very well be why the Brewers decided to sign Cooper Pratt to a long-term deal, to make sure that they're covered in that regard. So, as good as Terang has been, and I mean, he's been good for now a few years now, but, I remember when he came up and when he came in, after signing, he was a skinny little kid out of high school, and he has really filled out. I mean, he knows the game, and there's not a harder working guy. He and Frelick, I mean, you come to the games, early. You get there before batting practice. Those two guys are busted at every single day. It doesn't matter if there's batting practice on the field. They're in the cages. They're hitting, and then you got Matt Erickson hitting ground balls to Terang just about on the daily basis. He never really takes a whole lot of time off, and that's what it takes to be one of the top players in the game.
Talking to Bill Schroeder, Brewers TV here on the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen. All right, Rock, couple thoughts that I wanted to ask you about as we're 4 games in. What's your take on the ABS with the umpires? And when you were catching, or even when you were hitting, when you were playing, how often do you think you would have touched the helmet? Would you have been afraid to do that? Would you have saved it for Molitor and Yount to use the challenges?
Well, I don't know. Well, back in the day, it was like the old Eric Gregg strike zone. If you had a big lead, then everything was just strike. Get up there and swing, boys. We got to get this thing over with. But that's not the case anymore. But you look at these umpires. I mean, they don't miss many calls, and the ones that are overturned, I mean, there's a stitch on the outside corner. One of the stitches of the baseball. I mean, you don't see the pitch that the whole ball is in the strike zone. You don't see that. Maybe we've seen it maybe once or twice, this weekend or the first 4 games. But it tells you how good these guys are. And we don't have the strike zone box in our monitors up here. When we're doing games, I know the fans have it and I think that's a good thing because I'm less apt to start railing on the strike zone. So I kind of like the ABS. I mean, it's really fast. And it's always catchers that are doing it. Hitters every now and again will do it, but catchers are doing it. Catchers are really good at it as well. I thought the strike zones, in the first 4 games, have been outstanding, and I'm all for it. I mean, but when you talk about the difference between a strike and a ball, when you're talking about a 1/16 of an inch, a ball just grazing the outside corner, you get a little bit of that red mark on the ball. That tells you how good these guys are, these umpires.
I'm just thinking back to when you were catching Bazio or Jaime Kokenauer probably wasn't close enough to the zone to merit any challenges.
Yeah, I'd say when I was catching him, I caught him all throughout the minor leagues too, A ball, double A, triple A, and then in the big leagues. I mean, after catching Jaime for a game, I looked like a piece of raw hamburger out there. I mean, there was bruises all over the place. It was amazing. So just that you mentioned Jaime Kokenauer gives me a cold sweat just sitting in my house.
That's what Drew wanted
That's
to do.
a good way to get your day going. Then the other thing on the way out, Rock,
thanks a lot.
I gotta know because I want to go back. Armen's favorite VHS tape of all time that isn't Revenge of the Cheerleaders is Miracles, Magic, and True Believers, the '87 highlight film.
That's right.
And you're in that, and you were a peak athlete, stud specimen back then. And I'm wondering, could Bill Schroeder of 1987-88 beat Gary Sanchez in a foot race to first base?
Well, that's a tough one. Are you saying I'm not that anymore? Is that what you're saying?
I was going to say, Rock, I was campaigning for you to take it today.
I think, Rock, given your athletic nature,
giving you a hard 90.
The fact that you played, high school football and that you could have played football at Clemson, perhaps, I think you probably would have beat him. I don't know about today. It'd probably be close today too, but I was thinking about that when Gary Sanchez was legging out that play on Sunday.
Hey, I had 5 stolen bases one year in the big leagues, my friend.
Four
of them were delayed steals, and one was a back end of a double steal. So
yeah,
I wasn't real fleet of foot.
You had 5 in '87.
I think I challenged into a race right now. Actually,
that's what I'm wondering.
I believe so too.
Because that
6
play,
for his career.
That play, Gary Sanchez play on Sunday. I'm thinking to myself, 98% of the major leagues beats that out without even a throw, without a review.
Hey, that's not his game, man. He's been in the league a long time, and hats off to him for being able to stay in shape and stay healthy and still be a big leaguer and let the other guys run the bases and steal bases. He's kind of a station guy. He's been great.
Brewers have plenty of speed in other areas.
They got him,
14 homers in '87,
right.
Rock. You didn't need any speed.
Rock,
you were jogging around the bases.
He was jogging around.
14 homers in '87. Okay.
And how many triples?
I was the base clogger. I had 1 triple in my career. You know that, Drew. You want me to tell that story.
Rookie year triple. Yeah.
I know.
Look at the numbers.
Fantastic.
My first major league hit was a triple. Never hit another one.
That's amazing.
That's the best. Outstanding. Rock, thanks for getting up early with us. We've been enjoying the shows. Brewers TV is really a good product. I know it was a lot of moving parts and people behind the scenes. You guys are still the same and doing the same thing, but there's a lot that went into this season, and it looks really cool so far.
Yeah, the drone, the wire cam, all the stuff, all the bells and whistles. It's been a lot of fun, but you're right. I mean, our job in the booth hasn't changed a bit.
Yeah.
It's good to have another Carroll University grad here on there.
That's
what we need more of, Rock. Come on now. Let's get more pioneers on here celebrating.
It only took me 20 years to graduate, but hey, I had a little bit of things going on in between.
So. A little bit, just a little bit.
I took 20 to do 4 too. It was okay.
Rock, we'll see you at the ballpark. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. Talk to you later.
Yep. Tuesdays with Rock, Bill Schroeder, Brewers TV. He will be joining us on the regular 7:30 Tuesdays. Set a reminder in your phone.
He said, Drew, you know that story. You know that story. Why are you doing this
It's
to
in
me?
our book. The Jaime Kokenauer is in our
Yeah,
book.
just-
Absolutely.
so good.
What a fun
All
thing
right.
to
And
say.
get that book, by the way.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It was one of the Christmas gifts that my mother-in-law gave me. It was
Let's go.
amazing.
When we come
Good
back,
autograph.
we're going to close up shop. We're going to say our goodbyes, and we're going to have our Wake and Bake story of the day.
Ooh,
It's
and
the
I got a
Huddle,
hot one.
Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's been quite a nice little Tuesday here on the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen. Matt Miller, Mike Hastings, Bill Schroeder.
Flying by.
It's flying by on this morning. We are on to April. We've made it through March. We're on to April tomorrow.
Yeah, you better high alert tomorrow, folks.
April Fools, yeah.
Yeah, high alert.
Like AI slop doesn't a 365 degree.
We're already
365 days.
I was going to say, you think they got something special cooked up though for tomorrow?
We're already in that soup every year where there's already fake stuff all over the place. So I guess in one sense we're desensitized to it, and the other sense is you missed me with all that April Fool's nonsense. All right, I'm not doing it. I'm not have time for all that tomorrow.
It's a 20-year tradition at Milwaukee.com where they did funny stuff.
Well, that's fine.
I used to contribute to that when I worked there.
I was going to say best April Fool's.
It's our biggest traffic day of the year.
You're not going to hear me doing any sort of crazy
best April Fool's story that I wrote was back. There used to be a consumer reporter, Courtney Garish, at Channel 4 at the NBC.
Work with Courtney, yeah.
She would, she was at Spectrum for a while too. Courtney Garish.
Yeah, I worked with her.
She did a lot of stuff on restaurants failing, like health violations and stuff. And she's like, "This restaurant's closed because of roaches or mice or whatever." And my story was that her own kitchen at home was shut down by the health department.
Brilliant. That's a good one. That's clever.
That was the thing. Now, the stories at Milwaukee, they're up for one day and then they disappear. You can't ever find them again. So it doesn't tag anybody. But I was proud of that one.
That's clever. And it's been, like you said,
shut down by Milwaukee Health Department.
It's been a tradition for that publication. So I think that's cool. I like that. That's funny. So, but just, I'm not going to come on here.
Fun?
Yeah, I like fun. I don't like
fun
jokes.
And I like Happy Place Hemp, and I combine them on the regular.
Always fun.
HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code Huddle. The other ones are going away. Huddle gets you 25% off and free shipping for the best CBD products you'll find anywhere. You can't even approach the Drift Seltzer. The Drift Gummies are great. Everything they make, top of the line.
So good, so good.
And they have different strains. Ask the guys.
Different levels, scales,
levels. So check them out, find the products that work for you, and you'll be ordering again and again, and the code's always going to be good. Huddle for 25% off and free shipping if you can't make it to Muskego to see Rob and Chris in person, which I recommend you do.
That would be what
just
my
off of College
is.
Avenue.
Yes.
But Billy, what's our wake and bake story today? What do you got, hosted?
Well, I mean, some people thought that Anthony Edwards was playing an April Fool's Day joke on the crowd after he was introduced to the starting lineup, or introduced in the starting lineup to the crowd. And then when tip-off arrived, Mike Conley was on the floor. Well, Chris Finch answered the question very simply when asked why Anthony Edwards wasn't in the starting lineup, and he checked in after 2 minutes into the game. He said simply, "Drew, nature calls." Anthony Edwards said he felt miserable sitting out. He was like a kid in the candy store, kind of a crappy situation. Anthony Edwards missed the tip-off of last night's Timberwolves win because nature called.
Not often.
Use the restroom.
He had to do his best William Contreras and signal for the curve. He dropped the deuce, signaling for the curve.
And that's a bad situation where you're like, all right, I just wiped. No, again? Well, I got tip off again?
I love it. Hey, tomorrow we're going to be at Hump Day already. It'll be halftime of the week, halftime of, and we're on to April.
And I'm going to prank Armen every segment.
We're fools, so we hope to see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. on the Huddle.
Peace.